Please welcome the president of Blizzard Entertainment, Mike Ibarra.
Oh shit. Mikey.
Let's go! How's everybody doing? Oh man, you know, this is the best gaming community in the world, hands down. Hands down. Thank you, wow. Hello, Blizzcon. You know, it is so good to be back in person, finally. All of us. I love you too. All of us at Blizzard have missed this so much. It's 4 years. It's been 4 years. You know what I say to that? That's too damn long. Where's our heroes of Overwatch at? Adventurers of Sanctuary? Defenders of Azeroth?
Yeah.
And gamers everywhere, welcome! We love sharing what we're working on all the time. But to share it in person with all of you and to hear your stories, it cannot be matched. Meeting you all face to face inspires us, and we put this energy and enthusiasm back into everything we do. Thank you all for being here. In fact, we have tens of thousands of you here in Anaheim, California today, and we hope you enjoy the immersive experience we've created here at the show. We also have millions of people watching right now on stream. Blizzcon, please help me welcome everyone watching from around the world.
Let's go.
Whether you're a hardcore or a casual gamer, or if it's been a while since you picked up one of our games, we're here to show you the Blizzard we are today and the Blizzard we are becoming.
I don't think that's
BlizzCon
good.
isn't just about
People
the
know.
latest updates from Blizzard. It's all about you. Players are at the forefront of everything we do, and we're devoted to supporting these incredible communities, communities you can be proud of to be part of. All of us, gamers, developers, and fans, we all are united in our shared love for gaming. The person sitting next to you or watching online and chat with you could be your next guildmate, teammate, or lifelong friend. We all have this in common. I've always felt Blizzard brings players together a little differently. Our players have made connections that span continents, languages, and generations. We all have that one story, that incredible play of the game, that clutch card draw, or that raid encounter that your guild barely survived. I know, I've been there too. I know many of us have friends we've met in one of our games. A friend who began just as someone we hung out with in game, but who was there for us to celebrate our real life wins or to support us during a difficult time. That's certainly been true for me. Thanks to my experience playing Blizzard games over the last 25 years, I've met most of my best friends from all over. And I'm so grateful that some of them are here today. Gus, Pika, Nick, Scoodles, and of course Billy and Kaylee, who put up with my raid wipes all too often. I always know that no matter what is going on in real life, they will be there. No matter what game we're playing, these friends are a constant I can always rely on. And I know many of you share that feeling. BlizzCon truly is about all of us, as players, as equals, as friends. As we bring these amazing experiences to more places, build technology that allows more gamers to experience our worlds, and create characters and stories more players can relate to, the Blizzard community grows. And more importantly, our friendships grow. All of us are so grateful to be part of this community. And in everything we do, we are in service to you. We know we don't do everything perfectly, but thanks to your feedback, we never stop striving to do it right. We are here to foster joy and belonging for everyone.
I wonder
We're
what
proud of
they're
the worlds we build,
gonna announce
but
today.
your experiences within those worlds bring them to life, and your connections with each other are what inspires us the most. Now, many of you may have heard the recent news about Blizzard joining the Xbox gaming family. Both Blizzard and Xbox believe that gaming is a unifier, that we should all be able to play anywhere and any way we want to play. That when the creativity of some of the best developers, artists, and storytellers in the world is fearlessly unleashed, everyone wins. With that in mind, someone is here backstage who'd like to say hello.
Phil.
Over the years, he and I played a bunch of games together. Please join me in welcoming my friend, our friend,
Phil
the
Spencer.
CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer.
Thank you, Mike. And hello, everybody, Blizzcon. This is my first Blizzcon ever. And it's great to feel the energy in the room. You are the reason we make games. Your love for these games truly is inspiring. I recently have spent so much time playing Diablo 4 with my friends. Season 2 is awesome. And I can tell you that I can't wait for you to see what the team has planned for that game. It's gonna be awesome. Blizzard occupies a special place in the gaming industry, for me as well. Throughout Blizzard's history, they've pioneered and refined so much across the gaming industry, and many of you here today have been a part of that journey. Think of Diablo. It propelled the action RPG genre forward. StarCraft.
Oh boy.
Spawned the foundation of what esports would eventually become. And with StarCraft 2, it was a major catalyst for the evolution of games as live entertainment. World of Warcraft changed not only how people developed and supported games, but really it introduced a much wider audience to the concept of online communities. And Overwatch not only reimagined gameplay, but also the representation possible in class-based shooters. Blizzard's influence is everywhere, and because of its enduring legacy and phenomenal revolutionary development,
I mean,
with
he's
a
right.
care and a craft that is incredibly rare in this industry.
But he didn't mention
Our
Warcraft 3.
commitment at Xbox is to bring more great games to more players in more
Oh,
places.
fuck.
And now that Blizzard is part of Xbox, we will nurture the essence of what has made Blizzard unique.
I hope.
We're going to empower our new colleagues in a culture of trust, inclusion, and collaboration to continue what they do best, redefining existing genres, creating new, never-before-seen experiences, and uniting players globally in new ways, in Azeroth, in Sanctuary, in near-future Earth, and beyond. It has been a privilege to welcome the teams at Blizzard to Xbox, and I'm honored to be able to be here to help welcome all of you to BlizzCon 2023. Having seen what's in store for players, I can say the future of Blizzard is brighter than ever.
Don't be
And
lying.
you all have so much to
Please.
look forward to in this show.
It's unnecessary.
So I'll get out of here, let you see the show. Thanks everyone for the warm reception, and have a great time at BlizzCon. Thank you.
How about that? You know, part of what makes this such an exciting time for Blizzard is that we've never been more empowered, free, and dedicated to holding true to what makes Blizzard unique than we are today. We are accountable for creating this next chapter of Blizzard with all of you. We take this responsibility very seriously as we learn, grow, and get better every day. This is the start of a new era. So much more is possible, and you'll see some of that over the next couple days. Coming up, you'll hear from some new friends and some old friends who are returning to the BlizzCon stage to show more about the games and the worlds we all love. Before I go, I want to take a moment to thank our Blizzard team. You are some of the most talented individuals on the planet. And collectively, we are capable of building the most legendary universes in gaming. Our future, our creative freedom, our path forward is truly our own. And I know we all stand together with a singular goal: to exceed player expectations and foster and support each other. Thank you for everything you do. BlizzCon, many of the Blizzard team are here today in Anaheim, working hard to ensure you enjoy your time here. We all love talking to players, so please don't be shy. Come up and chat with us. Finally, on behalf of everyone at Blizzard, we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, from the bottom of my heart to our players, past, present, and future. Thank you for your passion and your honesty. And most importantly, thank you for being part of our communities. This is what BlizzCon is all about.
You could have said in good and bad times.
Everything we do is for all of you, and it's an honor to be a part of these worlds with you. Now, welcome to BlizzCon.
You wanted to see if there was more out there. Well, see for yourself.
I'm gonna kick every one of you in the face.
Mom! Do something! I'll see you at the finish line.
Did you really think this would be a fair fight?
Oh my God, that was disgusting.
Yo, nervous!
Mama's got you!
I am him!
I'm in my room now. Wow.
please welcome Overwatch Game Director, Aaron Keller.
Hello, Blizzcon! Ever since we first revealed Overwatch in 2014, you have grown
Hang on,
this universe
2014?
into something truly unique and beautiful. Every single day, we see millions of players jumping into matches, forging new friendships, and showing off their skills. We launched Overwatch 2 last October, and it has been such an incredible year. Since then, you've been crushed by Diva's mech over 26 million times, had more than 79 million lives saved by Baptiste, and played 65 years worth of prop hunt. I love prop hunt. The development of Overwatch is first and foremost focused on you, our players. We want our game to represent this global community. From the release of our Samoa map, to our celebration of Pride, to our first tie-in Peruvian heroes, Lifeweaver and Alari. We also want Overwatch to recognize those focused on achievement and prowess, and released our new progression system and the first set of hero mastery courses this year. And for those that just want something a little different, we've run April Fools and released a dating sim, an actual dating sim, Loverwatch. Listening to your feedback is important to us, and it's driven the team to look at changes to some of the core systems of the game.
I didn't see that.
We've been hard at
when
work
it
on an
happened.
overhaul of our competitive system, and we'll get into that a bit today and a bunch more over the course of BlizzCon. And there is so much more to come. We'd like to give you all a glimpse at as much as we're able
There's
to
supposed
show
to be a
you
new
coming
hero
next year.
announced
And boy, do we
today.
have some fun things to talk about. So let's get into it. To share our first big announcement, I am honored to introduce the art director of Overwatch, Dion Rogers.
Sorry, I'm a bit excited. The energy is awesome in here. You know, Aaron and I have been working on this universe since before Overwatch had a name. Working
wow.
together with an incredible team back at Blizzard. Many are with us today at BlizzCon. Creating such an incredible game with so many amazing people and seeing what it means to you all, it's meant everything to us. And out of all the things we work on, one of our favorites is to create new heroes.
Yeah, there is a new hero announced today. The leak was true.
You know, Overwatch is full of
actually real.
big personalities, and it takes a special individual to really stand out. And the team has been working hard to make sure no one could predict who this next hero is. We haven't leaked any articles. We haven't leaked a spray or two. And we've left 0 hints, especially not in our recent Samoa map. Now, who's ready to meet the newest hero?
Sorry to keep you all waiting.
What the?
But now that I'm here, let's have some fun. Yep,
Hawaiian?
that's my name, all right. This right here is Gunny, and she can light up the whole dance floor. And this one's Checho. He's a sensitive little fella, a real hothead. And when I fire them both, it's double trouble. Actual gameplay footage. Going so soon, I'm gonna miss ya.
Wait, that is actually cool. What the fuck?
Don't tell me that's it. Both hearts pumping.
He
I
heals.
got your back. For now. Here I come. Sensei Kiki. We got him where we want him.
Oh, that's gonna be broke. Maybe Kiriko can counter him.
Unbelievable.
So was I worth the wait? We're gonna have a hell of a time.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's awesome. I love that trailer. We had a lot of fun working on it. It's amazing to finally announce Malga. He was first introduced, you guys know, 4 years ago in a short story, and he's been the subject of a lot of fun theories. Ever since that first introduction, fans have been asking when he may become a playable hero. We're excited. We finally have our first Samoan hero. Malga, his name, it means mountain in Samoan. He portrays himself as this big, loud brute. However, this is just a facade. He's a cunning tactician, always one step ahead of his enemies. One of the core goals whenever we make an Overwatch character is that people see themselves in our heroes. We're always striving for greater authenticity and representation with each hero. And with Malga, we got a lot of help, actually. Even his tattoo was created by an amazing Samoan tattoo artist named C.E. Lufau. Malga's super fun.
Bro, he's so nervous right now.
It was awesome. Malga's super fun to play. He's easy to learn, hard to master, with what I like to call a brutal but cunning play style. We hope you love him as much as we do. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Join us later today for a Malga Deep Dive panel taking place here at the Blizzcon Arena and online for people at home. We'll talk with the team that helped create Malga and also how to best utilize his amazing abilities when he joins Overwatch in Season 8. Finally, we know Malga's gonna be pretty awesome when he joins competitive play.
Okay.
Thank you, Zoe. Malga is awesome. And the World Cup matches all weekend will be so much fun. But Overwatch has another thing happening here at BlizzCon. Earlier this week, we launched a new limited time game mode and special skins as part of an exciting collaboration with LE SSERAFIM, one of the biggest K-pop groups in the world. Everyone can jump in game right now to take part, as well as check out their brand new music video for Perfect Night. And in honor of this collaboration, LE SSERAFIM will take the stage and perform in the arena tomorrow after the community night ends around 6 p.m. Pacific.
Nice. They're literally copying
Working on partnerships
Riot.
like this, or what
That's
we
cool.
did with One Punch Man earlier this year, are incredibly fun. Yes. They provide us, both the dev team and you, the players, a chance to experience some of our
more
favorite
collaborations.
universes and artists through the unique style of Overwatch. And
What a
next year,
Demon
we
Slayer
have
one
even
for
more of
Genji.
these for you all to geek out about. Sadly, we can't reveal what those are all just yet, but maybe there are some other things coming in 2024 that we could give you a hint about. The Overwatch team has never had such clarity of vision when it comes to the future. From direct feedback, we hear what you love and want us to focus on. So, who wants to see a few of the things we're working on for next year?
I don't wanna hear another. We canceled that.
PvP game mode, Clash. In this new competitive mode, there are 5 points positioned in a row. The center point starts as the first objective, and the teams battle back and forth over the map, pushing into enemy territory or defending their own. Once a team captures all 5 points or reaches the maximum score, they win. Our initial Clash map is a tribute to a location we showed at Overwatch's first BlizzCon. And it's one of my personal favorites. They say cherry blossoms are a sign of rebirth and rejuvenation. And in 2024,
Oh, hell
the
no.
rebirth of one of the original Overwatch maps is in order. Yes. Within the Clash mode, we are returning to the home of the Shimada clan with the new Hanamura map, Hanaoka. Additionally, we are working on overhauls to some of our most important in-game systems. Overwatch is a highly competitive game, and in early 2024, we'll release a reworked version of our competitive system with all new competitive rewards.
You should do the League of
And with
Legends.
seasons, one of the team's goals has been to create themes that speak to so many of the cool and awesome things that we all love. Next year, you'll experience Eldritch Horror, Egyptian mythology, witches, and even a mirror universe where heroes become villains and villains become heroes. And of course, Overwatch is nothing without its heroes. Mauga is the 39th hero in Overwatch, and in 2024, we'll be releasing 3 more, and we want to give you a glimpse of 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
A new damage hero Venture is coming in Season 10, and a support currently codenamed Space Ranger in Season 12. And this is just scratching the surface of everything we have in the works. Join us tomorrow here and online, where we go in depth on all of this in our What's Next panel.
Let me check
It
something
will have
really
more
fast.
information on Clash, the reworked competitive system, a closer look at Space Ranger, even early gameplay footage of Venture, and so much more. And lastly, for the first time ever during a BlizzCon, not only is our next hero playable in the Overwatch Hall here in Anaheim, but all of you at home can play Mauga all weekend in-game, including Quick Play, going live right after the BlizzCon opening ceremony concludes.
Okay.
We know you'll love him just as much as we do. Thank you all. We'll see you in-game.
By the blood of the willing,
Oh, it's bored
we
now.
call thee home.
Yo, we took that at 100. Let's go, baby.
High Priest! Kill the High Priest! Yes! Yes!
Dude, I am shaking so hard.
Congratulations, the game is out.
Oh, I'm pumped for Diablo 4. I think it's gonna be the best.
What if you guys play it right now?
Hell yeah, really?
Yeah.
I will cry. That would be amazing.
This is awesome.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's so pretty.
Go!
Run! We really are doubling down on this idea that you can look the way you want, you can play the way you want, you can really make your own fantasy in this game.
She looks like me.
The way he comes in is crazy.
Oh my god, the butcher.
Boy.
Instantly died.
They revived me!
I'm gonna find some demons and I'm gonna shove my green foot right up there.
There are literally like goosebumps.
Go down a bit more, go down a bit more, go down a bit more. You got her! Yes! Let's go!
Will you fight the darkness?
Break the chains and be beautiful in sin.
Hail Lilith. Blessed Mother. You can pet the dogs, by the way.
Please welcome the General Manager of Diablo, Rod Ferguson.
How's everybody doing? Having fun? This feels amazing. So glad you're here. And I'm so happy the people at home are here as well. You know, watching that was such a great reminder of what a fantastic community we have and what an exciting year it's been. Now, you might have missed it, but in there was a clip of a blind gamer, Tylenif, defeating our hardest boss, Uber Lilith. Now, we strive to make Diablo as approachable and as accessible as possible, and watching clips like that make me and the team extremely proud. And of course, I love the tattoos. You know, I still can't believe over 1,000 people got permanent Diablo tattoos at our Hell's Inc. events, including me. And so, you know, Necro main for life. So, you know, we talk a lot about the last Blizzcon 4 years ago, and back then, you know, the Diablo community was hungry for even more experiences in that dark, gothic place caught between the high heavens and the burning hells, a little place we call Sanctuary. And in that time, I've been very fortunate to work with some of the best developers in the industry, people who love Diablo as much as the rest of us. And it was their passion and dedication to this universe that released a great new Diablo game every year for the last 3 years. Diablo 2 Resurrected brought the return of the classic that helped define the genre. Remastered. I love Diablo 2. So it was remastered for a new generation now for PC and console. And Diablo Immortal brought Sanctuary to mobile for the first time, bringing millions of new players into our universe. In fact, you might not know this, but 60% of Diablo Immortal players have never played a Diablo game before. So we really welcome them to our universe. And then, of course, there's Diablo 4. Now, it was that kind of excitement that made it the biggest launch in Blizzard's history. And it means so much to the team to see how you've embraced it. You know, we've played over 1.5 billion hours together so far, and it's your love for the game that drives us. Thanks to you, we've made a lot of changes over the last 5 months. In fact, our patch notes for Season of Blood, our second season, were over 14,000 words long, because that is how much our community has influenced and will continue to influence the evolution of Sanctuary.
14,000?
And if you haven't yet made that leap into the darkest Diablo story ever told, now is the perfect time to pick your class, build your character, join Phil Spencer, and see what the hell it's all about. And with that, I'd like to introduce Diablo 4's 2 production directors. They help lead the teams who are building everything we do today and everything moving forward. Please welcome Tiffany Watt and Chris Wilson.
Thanks, Rod. Hey, BlizzCon. The last time I was on stage, I was helping to announce Diablo 4. To be here today with all of you is so awesome.
The launch was incredible. We're really excited to be here today to share what's coming next. But first, let's highlight some of the player feedback that's in Season of Blood today. So many of you have told us that you wanted more in-game activities. So we've given you a couple this season, one now and another coming early next month. So live now is our new boss ladder. This is a series of additional boss fights from level 55 to 100 that will also see the return of our kind of gross but farmable and rewarding friend Duriel, who you can go after for Uber Uniques that everybody's been sieging for. And with those new bosses dropping both Uniques and Uber Uniques at a much higher rate, and even dropping some special cosmetics, you're going to want to make your way to level 100 so you can fight them all. So in the Season of Blood, we've rebalanced the end game, letting you get to level 100 about 40% faster than in Season 1.
That's good.
I know I've been taking advantage of that experience boost, and I have 2 characters in Season 2 already. Of course, all that leveling is about getting that amazing loot. So we've also changed how item power works. We've raised the power cap, and it's now more closely tied to the level of monster you defeat to get it. The more challenging the fight, the better the loot. There's still lots of work to be done with reworking itemization. In fact, it's one of our highest priorities. But this, along with upgrades to some of our unique items, is a great first step, so please keep that feedback coming. Now let's talk about quality of life. Here's a few improvements that came directly from you. All of your renown rewards now carry over season to season and from the Eternal Realm. Additional character slots. We added 2 this season, so you can create even more characters and try different builds. A targeting dummy has been added to Kyovashad as you can test those builds before you run into the butcher. Searching and filtering your stash is now possible, and your stash is now available in every town in Sanctuary. World bosses appear almost twice as often, so you can die almost twice as often. And we've also freed up some inventory space by making gems a crafting material to make even more room for those uber uniques. Those are just a few of the new additions already in the game, but we're not done with Season of Blood yet.
In fact, starting next week, we'll introduce 5 unique class-specific rings that will let you relive some of the fun from Season of the Malignant. That's right, Necromancers. Once again, corpses will automatically do your bidding just by being in your presence. Then on December 5th, we'll also be adding an enchanting preview to the Occultist. So this will allow you to see which affixes are possible before you spend your hard-earned gold. It's just another way to give you even more control over making just the right build for the challenge at hand. Also on December 5th, as promised, we'll have another exciting new in-game activity, a 6-week event called Abattoir of Zir. It's a highly replayable pinnacle experience designed for players who have reached level 100, slain Uber Duriel, and mastered all of the other challenges that
Also,
Season
these
of
were
Blood has
the
to
end
offer.
game.
Those who survive will attain a paragon glyph constructed of the Vampire Lord's very own blood. But beware, Abattoir of Zir starts difficult and only gets harder. And of course, as we near the end of Season of Blood, it'll be holiday time. Not only here, but in Sanctuary as well. Our first ever holiday event, Midwinter Blight, starts on December 12th.
A lot of updates, huh?
For
Cool.
3 weeks, we're going to transform the Fractured Peaks into a winter terror land, and it'll bring a whole new meaning to the word sleigh ride. Yeah. And be sure to keep your eyes peeled for a mysterious red-cloaked terror.
Nothing is as terrifying as Chris's puns, but I will be sure to check out Midwinter Blight. From there, we are on to Season 3. We can't go into too much detail now, but with the endgame being so important, let's talk about leaderboards. We're creating a whole new type of weekly challenge dungeon called the Gauntlet, where the heroes of Sanctuary can compete for their class ranking against their friends, their clan, or anyone in the world. Watch out, Mike Ibarra, I am coming for you. At the end of each week, the heroes with the highest rank will be added to the Seasonal Hall of Ancients, where their name and build will live on. So, that's a quick look at where we are today. And while the live game is our #1 priority right now, we have a separate Diablo 4 team that's been working hard on our next chapter. So how about a little teaser? It's super early, but as we look to expand on the story we started in Diablo 4, we're going to take you somewhere even darker, where hatred's influence continues to consume Sanctuary.
Oh, cinematic.
We have each played a part in what has happened here. You abdicated your choice to this child. And with every step she takes, I grow stronger. There will be no salvation in the light.
Vessel of hatred.
Vessel of Hatred is Diablo 4's first expansion.
Oh, They did announce a expansion.
Its campaign will continue the dark tale that began in Diablo 4 as we learn the fate of the prime evil Mephisto and his demonic plans for Sanctuary. To do that, we'll be visiting a region new to Diablo 4 and a fan favorite from Diablo 2. The lush jungles known to outsiders as Torajan, but known by the locals as Nahantu. With this new story set in a mysterious new region comes new ways to play, new evils to vanquish, and, of course, a completely new class never seen before in the Diablo universe.
Okay.
Vessel of Hatred releases late next year, and we cannot wait to share more about it this summer.
Now, before we leave, we want you to know that it's your passion that drives us. Your feedback will continue to help us evolve and improve the Diablo 4 experience for years to come. We couldn't be more excited about our future, and we hope that you are too. Our team has put in a lot of hard work, and we love seeing your love for this game. So please join us tomorrow. We have a special Diablo 4 campfire panel where we'll be sharing more details about the expansion, deeper dive on some of the upcoming game changes, and we'll also have a special Q&A session to close it out. So enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you, and we'll see you in Sanctuary.
So that was Overwatch and Diablo. What now? WoW? Yep. Or Hearthstone.
Butters, go buy World of Warcraft, install it on your computer, and join the online sensation before we all murder you. All right then.
Welcome to the World of Warcraft.
I'm William Shatner, and I'm a shaman.
I'm Mr. T, and this is my Night Elf Mohawk.
There's no such thing as a Night Elf Mohawk.
Shut up, fool!
This role-playing game where heroes like Leroy Jenkins do battle.
Leroy Jenkins!
That would be the World of Warcraft.
You're a player in the NFL, but what you're most proud of is that you've rated third nationally in dungeon progression.
Timing was perfect! That was fire. For the Alliance! For the Horde! For Azeroth! Ready to work.
Please welcome the General Manager of Warcraft, John Haidt.
And thank you. And we are ready to work. Anybody here for Warcraft today? Yeah!
The whole crowd.
Big shout out to the Warcraft teams. They are so happy to be here today. We have so much cool stuff to show you. So give it up for my Warcraft teams. Can you believe that almost 30 years ago, a dispute between orcs and humans led to one of the longest running fantasy adventures in video game history? Right? Generations of players have called Azeroth home. Teenagers that first played Warcraft when it was released, I know you're out there, are now parents. Right? Raising new heroes to take on the raids and battlegrounds of this timeless adventure.
Oh, hell no.
It's those shared stories of Azeroth, both in-game and out, that make up this universe. Today is a great day for Warcraft. This
They're
is
going
the
with
beginning
Warcraft,
of
not
a bold
World
new
of
chapter
Warcraft.
that will take us
No,
through
well,
the
not with
next
WoW.
3 decades and beyond.
What?
With a variety of games to entertain you, we welcome everyone to find your community. Okay, Alliance. Just practice. We're going to give you a chance to do it a little louder later. Throughout the taverns of Azeroth, tall tales of adventure are retold through the whimsical and clever card play of Hearthstone. Yeah. I like to imagine humans and orcs getting together, showing off their collections, and boasting of their deeds. But in the basements of those same taverns, they're playing a new game, Warcraft Rumble. Yeah. Me too. Which puts the battlefields and dungeons of Azeroth in the palm of your hand.
Literally.
And finally, World of Warcraft. WoW immerses us into Azeroth, where we are the champions, fighting alongside each other in shared adventure. Almost 20 years ago, WoW revolutionized online communities and reimagined the enduring entertainment of massively multiplayer gaming. The very first Blizzcon was introduced our first expansion, so it's only fitting that we're here today to lay the foundation for WoW's future.
They should make a new game.
Yeah!
A reset. I'm not hype at all.
Azeroth is a home we can always escape to. A home that is always waiting for us. Together, we build this universe. Our teams craft the worlds and the adventures, but it is all of you who bring it to life. You are the heartbeat of the brand new adventures that are about to unfold. From all of us on the Warcraft teams here at Blizzard Entertainment, thank you.
Please welcome, from Hearthstone, lead designer Cora Georgiou.
Hello, BlizzCon. Well, I have a pretty good view from up here. It's really nice to see you all. We are thrilled to soon be celebrating Hearthstone's 10th anniversary.
10 years, damn.
I know, I'm getting old. It's a decade of telling tales around Azeroth with all of you. Whether you aspire to climb the ladder to legend, enjoy brawling with friends in the battlegrounds, or maybe you've just listened to the 10-hour version of the Saviors of Uldum theme song. Thank you all for being a part of our bustling tavern. We invite players both old and new to join us for our 10th anniversary next March. But we have so much to enjoy before then, so let's talk about what's happening right now in Hearthstone and in Battlegrounds. We're setting the stage for a standoff in Hearthstone's upcoming expansion, Showdown in the Badlands, which takes place in Azeroth's Wild West. Two strangers will cross paths, an outlaw and a lone ranger. Though they may not know it now, Together, they are destined for a grand adventure.
In the beginning, I was all alone, trying my best to do some good out there. But it didn't take long to realize that, with the right friends, everything would change.
Step aside.
Come on!
Ha! You don't know who you're messing with.
They knew the townsfolk were up to something sinister.
Let's move!
Right behind you! And it was like a powder keg, waiting to explode.
We did it! No!
Oh, nuts. As it turned out, I had the right backup waiting for me, just when I needed it.
Let's do this.
You got it, partner.
I didn't intentionally pursue leadership.
I'm gonna punch ya!
Candle mud slider.
Let's show these fine folks some Badlands hospitality. Well, looking for a standoff? Careful, it's against me.
That's right. Our beloved Reno Jackson and Elise Starseeker are getting an origin tale. They'll work together to save the Badlands from the Bloodrock Town's nefarious mining operation. Singleton decks are returning. With cards like Reno Lone Ranger, Hearthstone's first ever neutral hero card. We'll talk more about him at the What's Next panel later today, where we'll also be revealing a motherlode of exciting new cards. You can get your hands on them and more when Showdown in the Badlands releases on November 14th.
I don't play Hearthstone, so I don't know anything about this.
I know you may be thinking, a new expansion. That's a lot of new cards, on top of 5 sets that are already in the standard rotation. And if you're a new player or you're coming back after a break, that can be a little overwhelming. So we have been hard at work to make it easier than ever to join us. We're excited to announce catch-up packs. These are game-changing for getting your collection caught up. You see what we did there? Instead of the typical 5 cards you'd find in a regular Hearthstone card pack, you can get up to 50 cards from a single catch-up pack.
That's a lot.
The cards you receive will all be from within the last 2 years, ready to play and constructed. All of our players are going to get catch-up packs to open once you log in, and for all of you here at BlizzCon in person, or those of you at home who purchased either BlizzCon collection, we're also gifting you a few more packs. For anyone who's been away for a while, all of these packs can add up to hundreds of cards. We'll also be adding quite a few of them into pre-purchase bundles for Showdown in the Badlands. We hope to see all of you getting some amazing cards and filling in or beginning your Hearthstone collection on November 14th. All right. I feel like we might have some Battlegrounds fans out here. Yeah. So you might remember then that the last time we were all together at BlizzCon, we unveiled Battlegrounds. What started as an experiment became a huge part of the game and a fun way to play in the tavern. But playing together is what inspired the new mode we're debuting here today. Queuing up as a party for a lobby is great, but ultimately, you play against each other. What if you could actually play teamed up alongside each other? Sounds fun, doesn't it? We're pleased to announce a truly cooperative way to play. Battlegrounds Duos. With a shared health pool, team combat, and sending cards back and forth between teammates. Now you can fight with your friends instead of against them. We were inspired by the Battleground community's creativity, finding ways to team up and help each other achieve top 4. So now we're setting an official table for you and your partner to take the crown together. For those of you here in person, grab a friend or make a new one, because you can try Battlegrounds Duos here at Blizzcon right now at the Hearthstone demo area.
Nice. That is probably one of the best things about going live to BlizzCon, that you can try
We're
everything.
planning to launch this new way to play for everyone early next year, and you can learn more later today and see the new heroes and minions that make teamwork so fun in Battlegrounds.
Bro, do you want people to applaud you every time you finish a sentence? Come
If you're
on.
tuning in at home, please make sure to join us at the What's Next panel. And if you're here with us at BlizzCon, you can also join me and other members of the Hearthstone team in the tavern. For you worthy opponents out there, come duel a dev and challenge the Hearthstone team. Or, if you want to catch up after 4 years away, pull up a chair by the hearth. We'll see you in the tavern.
Oh, but
Please welcome, from Warcraft Rumble, executive producer, Vic Sarath.
You gotta love Anixia. She didn't even use deep breath there. Hello, BlizzCon! Last year, the team and I announced that we were working on a brand new Warcraft game. A way to bring Warcraft with you wherever you are and wherever you go. And as you just saw, we've had a ton of fun and poured a lot of love into making this game. Warcraft Rumble is an action strategy game with a deep PvE campaign, a dynamic PvP mode, and so much more. It's a game filled with familiar faces. You'll mix and match miniature versions of characters from the Warcraft universe to make your very own army as you take on opponents all over Azeroth. So, if you've ever wanted to see Jaina command an army of Murlocs, or Grom lead a horde of angry chickens, apparently, this is your opportunity. By combining leaders, troops, and spells from 5 families, Alliance, Horde, Beasts, Undead, and my personal favorite, Blackrock, you'll battle your way through maps inspired by some very familiar locations. You'll fight to control resources, capture towers, and eventually defeat the boss or player at the other end. Speaking of bosses, each one has their own unique mechanics, so you'll have to adapt your strategies to the threats you'll face as you battle through the campaign and beyond. Our goal was to give you everything you love about Warcraft, reimagined with a big dose of what our team calls joyful chaos. When we set out to make this game, we wanted to offer a variety of challenges no matter how you choose to play it, whether it's for 5 minutes at a time or hours on end. And that was something we especially focused on during the beta, to make sure you have something fun to do every time you open up the game. And for those of you that played the beta and gave us your feedback, thank you so much. It's because of your support and the hard work of our team that we feel we got something really, really special on our hands. Now, let's take a look at the result.
Did you say Mbappe? Oh, I don't think it is. I think he said no problem.
You know, I gotta admit, it's pretty cool watching that video and just thinking about how far we've come since last year. At this point, we just can't wait for all of you to hop in and play. And I mean, we literally can't wait. That's why we've made Warcraft Rumble available to download and play right now. This is such a huge moment for us, and we're so all excited to have you join us. And for those of you in the audience with me today, let's bring down the Wi-Fi together. You know I'm kidding, right? Please don't bring down the Wi-Fi. I'm in a lot of trouble once I get off of here. Whether you're a veteran of Azeroth or just have a deep love for strategy games, there's a lot to enjoy here. We've got a huge campaign with over 70 bosses. And for those of you looking for an especially unique challenge, we even have a heroic campaign with an extra layer of difficulty that we cooked up ourselves.
We cooked up.
We've got maps with verticality, capture points, resources, traps, and all kinds of other contraptions. Each map was lovingly handcrafted by our team and is its own unique puzzle. But how you choose to solve that puzzle is completely up to you. And when you're in the mood for a solo dungeon, we've got you covered there as well. Dungeons in Warcraft Rumble are intense, 3-mission gauntlets through places like Normagon and the Dead Mines, where you equip your armies with game-changing relics until your run is over. Or jump into PvP and duke it out with other players on maps inspired by some of the most legendary maps and battlegrounds found in World of Warcraft. You can even join a guild and work together with your friends towards some super special shared rewards. I can only say... Nice. But that's just what we have in the game right now. We have so much more coming. For starters, we're going to be releasing a new mini with each season. And that also starts right now. Season 1 of Warcraft Rumble is live, and the latest addition to our growing roster of minis is none other than the Banshee Queen herself, Sylvanas. We're also working on even more ways for you to play with or against your friends, and that includes the biggest challenge in all of Rumble, raids. Make sure to join our Warcraft Rumblings panel later today to hear all about raids and what else we have in store for the future of this game. Now, Blizzcon, before I go, I just wanted to let you know, the team and I, many of whom are here in Anaheim with us right now, we love playing strategy games. And we set out to make a game that harkens back to our RTS roots, where Warcraft began almost 30 years ago. It is really made out of a genuine love for Warcraft by people with deep roots in the universe. No matter how you like to play, there's something for everyone to love in Warcraft Rumble. Thank you so much, Blizzcon. Enjoy the chaos, and we'll see you in game.
Please welcome Executive Producer, World of Warcraft, Holly Longdale.
Oh shit, wow.
Wow. What's up, BlizzCon? Oh, I'm so excited to see you all here. This is fantastic. Well, can you believe we've been playing World of Warcraft for almost 20 years? You know, 2004 was a while ago, right? You know, some of us, we waited in those lines for those midnight releases and got our discs. Yeah! And we raced home to install those WoW discs one by one. Across nearly 2 decades, players all over the world have taken part in the stories of Jaina, Sylvanas, Arthas, and Thrall, and of course, so many others. And together, we've jumped through the portal into Outland. We sailed off into Northrend, and we watched Sargeras stab the world with that sword.
What sword?
During that time, gaming has changed, and you have changed, and so have we, particularly in the past year. The entire team across both Modern and Classic have embraced their communities. We are truly listening to your voices and taking action. My friends at BlizzCon, now is the perfect time to prepare to close chapters, open new ones, and double down on why we all fell in love with World of Warcraft in the first place.
A new game, please.
With that in mind, let's get to it. As many of you know, WoW Classic was born out of the community's passion. And of course, most of you know that still drives us today. Like just in August, inspired by our community, we released Classic Hardcore. So, in Hardcore, you only get one life. And if you die, you may laugh, you may cry, you may have to replace a keyboard, But you go again.
Go again.
We've loved watching you take on the challenge or die trying. And because the hardcore community has asked, the team is planning to add a new way to play hardcore early next year. And last month in Wrath Classic, we released the Fall of the Lich King patch. And while there's still more to come in Wrath, earlier this year, we looked at your feedback to think about where are we gonna go next.
Cataclysm.
We read through a lot, and I mean a lot of your feedback on social media forums, and we sent out surveys to our players. And here at Blizzcon, we're happy to announce Cataclysm is coming. And it's coming with #changes based on your feedback, just like you'd expect from Classic. So now, let's jump into the Wayback Machine and get a reminder of all things Cataclysm.
So that its true lords may return. You dare trespass into my domain? Die! This is my realm.
This trailer is actually super cool. What the fuck?
Get ready, my friends, because I love the passion, by the way. Get ready, my friends, because the road to Deathwing's destruction is coming in the first half of next year. All right. Now, over the past 4 years of Classic, we've watched you master the vanilla experience, and we've loved it. So much, in fact, that we thought we'd add some unique flavor with a seasonal note and a dash of discovery. Season of Discovery is vanilla wow with a spicy twist. You're going to discover new secrets as you scour the world and find class-altering abilities. Have you ever wondered what it might be like to be a tanking warlock? Or take on the role of a mage healer? In Season of Discovery, you can.
Wow, okay. I might play WoW.
Season is going to launch with an initial level cap of 25. And when you hit that max level, you'll be met with the brand new level 25 endgame. You'll discover a brand new 10-player Black Fathom Deeps raid with new and reimagined bosses, mechanics, and of course, rewards. Then, after a couple of months, we'll raise the level cap a bit. You'll find even more endgame content, and so it will go. If you're here at BlizzCon, you can play the Black Fathom Deeps raid in the Warcraft Hall. So, if you love Classic or just a little intrigued about what exactly a Warlock tank can do, go check it out. For all of you watching online, don't worry. You won't have to wait long to play. Because we want you to discover all of the secrets together, there will be no public testing. WoW Classic Season of Discovery launches in a few short weeks on November 30th.
Okay. Damn.
For more information on the Season of Discovery and Cataclysm, don't miss the Classic panel this afternoon. All right, now it's time to talk to my Dragon Riders in Modern WoW.
Oh, hell no.
Our team remains committed to giving you meaningful game updates about every 8 weeks with more content sprinkled in between. We really want Azeroth to feel alive and the home you want to come back to no matter how you play. Our next major update, Guardians of the Dream, is going live in just 5 days. I want to give a shout out to my elves. It is finally our time. 1 week later, Season 3 will start with the last raid of the expansion, Amirdrasil, the Dream's Hope. There we will have our final showdown with Farak and defend our new world tree. But fear not, that's not the end of our time in the Dragon Isles. There's a lot more to come in Dragonflight that will serve as both the epilogue of this story and the bridge to our next one. Like I said earlier, we are evolving. We are changing our approach to this big, beautiful game and how we look ahead to new chapters. BlizzCon, it's time for a new adventure, one that has grown from the very seeds of what captured our hearts when we first set foot in Azeroth. For veteran players, the last 20 years have led us to this. And for those who have yet to join us, now is the time. And who better to talk about the first step in this journey? Than someone who carved the path in the first place. Everyone, please welcome my friend and the Executive Creative Director of the Warcraft universe, Chris Metzen.
What up, BlizzCon? Holy smokes! Horde, where you at?
BlizzCon as one! Holy smokes, thank you. Thank you. It is, thank you guys. It has been a long, strange trip to get back to this spot, I tell you that. It has been interesting this past year being back under the hood of World of Warcraft. It has reminded me of a few things. One, I love Warcraft. Number two, you know what? I really missed this work. And number three, on the real, it feels amazing to be back and part of this Blizzard family again. As Holly said a bit ago, next year is the 20th anniversary of World of Warcraft. I can't even believe it. Whatever. How many of y'all have been playing from the beginning? I love you. Crazy. So given that, what was that? Doesn't matter. We started thinking, so what next? Right?
New game.
What expansion hook?
Ah, fuck.
What single storyline could possibly match such a historic occasion?
Illidan.
We started thinking about, well, I did, the good old days, right? And some of those early mythic ideas that kind of established the background of Warcraft. Started thinking about even some of the newer ideas that have played out more recently, but still in a way feel a little unresolved. And in the mix of all that stuff, in the mix of all those ideas, particular things like, what the hell has Magni actually been babbling about all these years?
Oh, wait.
Was the thing that he came to warn us about in Battle for Azeroth, did it actually play out? Or is there potentially something darker still looming on the horizon? I don't know. Will there eventually be an apocalyptic confrontation between the forces of the light and the void? Talk to me, BlizzCon. I'll tell you what, for nothing, my pally Maine, I'm all in on that kind of thing if it happens. It's gonna happen. And really the big question for all the marbles, what have the Titans actually been doing since the dawn of civilization? What is the real purpose of all of their cute little installations slammed into the side of the planet? Do we know everything we need to know about their real intentions for our world? Just saying. BlizzCon. All of these hooks and 100 more. 68, carry the 2. A bunch more. All cooking in the pot. Started to reveal a storyline. Something epic. How epic? Real epic. A storyline that in almost every way feels like the culmination of the first 20 years of our storytelling.
The first? Oh.
A storyline provided we do our jobs, we do the thing that will vector us into the next 20 years of adventure. BlizzCon. Are you with me, BlizzCon? We call this storyline the World Soul Saga. The World Soul Saga is so epic, as we covered. It cannot be contained within any single expansion. It is built to play out over multiple expansions.
They
over the
learned
next
from
few
Final
years.
Fantasy. Holy fuck.
Come on now. Having said that, we are working on multiple ways to deliver this adventure to you a little faster than you're used to. We're not going to get into it at this BlizzCon, forgive me. But keep your ears peeled. I assure you, we are moving with purpose. And the last thing we really want is for y'all to have your grandkids controlling your mouse and your keyboard trying to wrap this thing up. So, it's coming. Also, given the scale of this monster, we have decided to change it up today. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Instead of just debuting your next expansion all on its lonesome, we have decided to give you a glimpse at your next 3 expansions.
Oh, shit. What?
Does this meet with your approval, BlizzCon? My friends, I'm gonna warn you, there may be mild spoilers ahead. Actually, I'm just kidding. They ain't mild. Buckle up.
Oh,
are you
fuck.
ready, BlizzCon? The first part of the World Soul Saga and your 10th expansion is called World of Warcraft: The War Within.
I like that title. That is actually badass. What the fuck?
In this chapter, you will be descending into the heart of Azeroth itself.
What?
Exploring new subterranean kingdoms and engaging with ancient cultures like the Earthen and the terrifying Nerubians of Arsh-Kahet.
So was the leak real?
But as the forces of darkness close in around our precious world soul, you, yeah, that's you, will be called to do what you always do, which is dispense indiscriminate justice upon all those who got it coming. Talk to me, BlizzCon. The second part of the World Soul Saga is called World of Warcraft: Midnight.
Are they doing like a Destiny type of
In
thing?
this chapter, you will be returning, ready, to the old world, to the fabled lands of Quel'Thalas. There, the forces of the Void have invaded Azeroth, intent on snuffing out the light of the Sunwell and plunging the world into darkness and fear. You will not only help reunify the scattered elven tribes of Azeroth, but you will make your stand with the forces of the light and banish the shadow forever. Of course, BlizzCon, it is Azeroth. Things may not go to plan. things may just spiral wildly out of control, leading us to the third part of the World Soul Saga. World of Warcraft, the last Titan.
That's gotta be Azeroth.
In this chapter, you will again be returning to the old world, this time to the wintry lands of Northrend. And there, at Ulduar, you will bear witness to the return of the Titans to Azeroth. And there, you will uncover a vast conspiracy, one that stretches throughout the history of the world, one that will challenge everything you think you know about the Titans, their intentions, and the true nature of Azeroth itself. In time, my friend, in time. And it's called Silithus. There you go. Blizzcon, my hope, our dear hope, is that you can see when it comes to WoW storytelling, we ain't screwing around.
Okay.
We are playing for all the marbles. We are working to establish a thundering heartbeat for this franchise. Now. Now, BlizzCon. Hearken to me. Always wanted to say that. Thank you. Whether you are a current player, and I'm gonna bet that most of you are, or maybe you jumped off the WoW train a few expansions ago, now is the time to come home. Now is the time to pull on your boots, pick up your broadsword or your favorite glowy staff, and get in this fight. Friends, Azeroth needs her defenders now more than ever. Now, in a few moments, we are going to give you a deeper look at the war within. But before we do that, I want to leave you with a little something to chew on. I want to remind you all that sometimes very epic things can begin with small, heartfelt moments. What you're about to see is one of those moments. And with that, BlizzCon. Proud defenders of Azeroth! Let the World Soul Saga begin!
Anduin. Oh, he's an adult now. What?
You're here to tell me we don't get to hide. Is that it?
You needed time. We stayed away. But time by itself heals nothing.
You didn't just come here for me. It's the visions. You've seen them.
I suspect many have lately. Something, someone, is calling out from the heart of the world. Like a voice from a dream. Something dark is coming, Anduin. The world needs your light again. My son.
I'm not that person anymore. I have no light. Not after what I've seen. Not after what I've done.
You are not your past, Anduin. I trust you.
Hear me.
They're getting worse. Look, whatever's coming, I'll stand with you. Of course I will. But we were drawn here by the voice. Who is it, Thrall? Who's calling out to us?
I'm not sure yet. But that sword was aimed at someone.
No fucking way. They are actually giving a story to that sword now. After how long? Like 6 years? Oh, wow.
I guess we're not ignoring that sword anymore. I do have to say, though, every time I see that cinematic, and I've seen it many times, it gets me right in my heart. It feels like a new beginning, and it feels like coming home. And we are so excited about where we are going. And now that you've seen or heard the overview for the World So Saga, let's talk about the war within. As we all gather and explore beneath the surface, we'll find an ancient Nerubian civilization. They will be led by someone we were first introduced to in Legion, Xal'atath, a harbinger of the void. The void brings destruction and darkness that threatens all light in our world. The last time we saw Xal'atath, she promised we would meet again. And it turns out she was right. And while Anduin, Thrall, and others share the same visions emanating from the heart of the world, some are seeing something quite different.
Oh.
My visions are not the same as the others. No radiance, no song. Just the shadow. taunting me from below.
Oh, so they're adding it to all of the mounts. Oh, wow.
The fate of our world rests upon the edge of a knife. And our battle lies deep within.
In the War Within, alongside beautiful, unique underground zones, we will have challenging dungeons and raids and some new features too that are built to last. If you like exploring on your own with a couple of friends or family, we have delves. These are a variety of bite-sized experiences for 1 to 5 players that will offer endgame rewards. You may also find in your delve a familiar character who'd be willing to fight alongside you. And if you're like me and you have an obsession with alts, we have warbands. With this feature, you could treat all of your characters like family and share banks, reputations, transmos.
Finally.
We're also introducing a new layer of customization for your class specs with hero talents. You might want to take your character down the path of a Dark Ranger, let's say, or a Farseer, and more.
So they're literally doing the same thing for classic and retail.
Also, during your travels underground, you will meet the Earthen Dwarves.
No, maybe not the same, but
them as our new
they got the inspiration from that.
I mean, who doesn't love a dwarf? The facial hair options are spectacular. There's so much more to talk about, so please join the What Next panel that's coming up right after the opening ceremony right here. What I can tell you, though, is that the call to get into the fight to save our world will ring out when The War Within releases next year. And lastly, I sincerely want to say, we are so excited to begin this new journey with you. And from our hearts to yours, thank you for bringing our world to life. And now, with his own note of thanks, Mike Ibarra.
Thank you to all the teams who presented today. There really is so much to look forward over the next 2 days. And this is only the beginning. I can't wait to walk the halls of all of Anaheim with all of you. It is truly a joy to be here with the Blizzard team and our
Wait, they
players.
did not announce anything
Blizzcon,
about this
be great
survival
to
game.
each other and enjoy the show.
found Anduin Rin, who has been wandering alone for the last few years, grappling, lost in his own thoughts, and dealing with the experience that he's been through, as many of you may have remembered. Throughout this and our features trailer, we learned two very important developments, starting with these visions. Thrall spoke of a vision calling out from the heart of the world, like a voice from a dream. This radiant song will compel our heroes to investigate its origins, and while at the same time, a darkness has been gathering. Even as the heroes adventured on the Dragon Isles, and in the War Within, the mysterious harbinger that Iridikron spoke of will reveal themselves. Xal'atath has returned. Freed long ago from the black blade that once bound her, she is now the harbinger of a new era of the Void's dark machinations. And her message is clear. The Black Empire has fallen. The old gods are dead. And their ancient blood runs deep within the cracks of the world. We, the heroes of Azeroth, destroyed them. The forces of the Horde and the Alliance have proven time and again they are among the most powerful armies that have ever stood. The Harbinger has watched this. She is patient. And while the Black Empire failed, Xal'atath now seeks to set in motion the rise of a new dark legacy, one that knows our true strength and will seek to test it against a new threat of terrible power, the Nerubians of Ashkahet. Xal'atath has conscripted the Nerubian queen Ansarek, having offered her people a new future, one in which they will rise from their isolation as a mighty kingdom once again. And here in this sprawling city of Ashkahet, we will not find the undead soldiers of the Lich King that we faced before, but instead a new mighty stronghold of the Nerubians as they once were, deadly survivors of the mythic wars that have played out time and again over thousands of years. In return for their loyalty, Xal'atath has granted the Nerubians the means of a dark evolution, one that will turn the Nerubians into a new kind of ferocious and terrifying soldier that we will clash against time and again in the War Within. Now let's talk about who we'll be adventuring with. How do you like the key art? Several of Azeroth's greatest heroes will rise to the call of the Radiant Song, and many will be faced with their own unique challenges. Anduin, having survived his ordeal with domination. Yes, look at the art. Oh, incredible artwork. Anduin will be grappling with his relationship to the holy light that he no longer feels worthy of, while Thrall is seeking a connection to these visions, spreading across the world and working to find his new place in the Horde, while Magni Bronzebeard, long the Speaker of Azeroth, will confront the heavy weight of that responsibility once and for all. Champion! The Wounds Champion! Yes! But that brings us to, I know you saw this in the features trailer, Alaria Windrunner. Alaria's journey will be central to the events of the themes of the War Within, as she, a Void Hunter, will use all of her prowess to hunt down the Harbinger while being torn between her own nature and the maddening call of the Void to which she is attuned. Along the adventure, she will have a unique rivalry with Xal'atath, whose twists and turns will come to define the nature of this new conflict. Of course, we'll see many more familiar faces on our journey and meet a host of new and interesting characters along the way that Maria is going to tell you more about in just a moment. But finally, this saga is only just beginning. Conceived to be... Yes! Conceived to be an epic worthy of the first 20 years of World of Warcraft, the World Soul Saga aims to redefine the storytelling in our expansion set and strike boldly at the core themes that define Warcraft. The might of heroes, the responsibility of that power, the pursuit of justice. Got to do my best Mets in there. Justice! And the importance of finding common ground as well as ourselves amidst adversity. Up next, may I introduce Maria Hamilton, who will be sharing more about our zones and cultures in the War Within. Thank you so much.
Hello, Blizzcon. Wow, I am so excited to be here and delighted to represent our team and tell you about the places that we will explore and the cultures we will encounter in the War Within. I can't really see all of you out there. I know there's a lot of you, though, because I can hear you. And I hope to hear lots of oohs and ahs when you see some of this cool art I've got to show you. So let's get started. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Okay, as Taryn mentioned earlier, we'll be called by the Radiant Song, dreamlike visions that come from the heart of the Azeroth. This summons is going to lead us to the subcontinent of Khaz-Algar, a place long forgotten. It's only through recent explorations in Uldaman that we've discovered a Watcher report concerning a contingent of Earthen that was sent to this place long, long ago to investigate a fissure in the sector. What exactly that means, we don't really know, but we can probably speculate. So first, let's talk about the Earthen. Ooh, there you go. There you go. All right, we have met Titan-forged Earthen before, of course, in Ulduar and other places. But this society of Earthen has been isolated within Khaz-Algar for a really long time and have developed their own manners and customs. Now, visually, these Earthen are a bit larger in stature, and they're noticeably blinged out. They've got gems all over them, bedazzled, blinged out, you know, that kind of thing, right? But philosophically, they are guided by the Edicts of the Titans, a set of codified orders, duties, and expectations that provide instructions for the core functions of their society. You know, Titans, order, all that, right? But the Titans have been absent for eons, and the Earthen are no longer united in their adherence to these edicts. They now exist as three groups that are estranged from each other. The Oathsworn, as their name suggests, still uphold the edicts faithfully and believe everyone else is doing it wrong. Their charge is guarding the Core Way, a Titan passageway that leads right to the core of Azeroth. They're primarily the city dwellers. They live conveniently near the object of their responsibility, that Core Way. Now, the Unbound, in contrast, have abandoned the edicts, and they are considered scandalously rebellious by the Oathsworn. Their original responsibility was providing the materials to keep the Titan installations supplied, and they're primarily rural. They're living in and around the quarries and the mines where natural resources can be acquired. They rarely interact with the city dwellers. They feel neglected and ignored because they have a different opinion on how they should live. Now, the machine speakers have strayed from the edicts in practice, but not with respect to their overall obligation to keep the Titan works functioning. They've had extremely limited contact with the surface dwellers, and they express no little disdain for those who just don't understand the great machines. Their homes are built around vast industrial projects under the surface that allow them to perform their functions in accordance with edicts, more or less. These different perspectives among the Earthen and their variable adherence to the Titan's edicts has weakened the society as originally structured. And that's not good, of course, but a much more serious problem is their steadily dwindling numbers. For reasons that I'm not going to get into here and now, New Earthen can't exist until we help them out by doing some things and unite the Earthen society once more. Happily, as a result of our actions, the Earthen will eventually be unlocked as an allied race. Yeah, like sweet, don't they? Yeah. These player Earthen will replenish the culture's dwindling numbers and may join either the Horde or the Alliance. Yeah. It is, of course, player's choice which side you wish to ally with. But as you can see from a small sampling of combinations, there's some fantastic variations and customizations coming for the Earthen models, including different gem incrustations, beards for all body types, rocky skin patterns, tones, and more. Now that golden mohawk with the braids and the fringe beard, that's quite the look. But I really like the beardless guy with the bushy blonde eyebrows. He looks so cool. He's just kind of like, yep, what do you want me to do? So anyway, all right, moving on. Another cool culture that players will encounter in the War Within is the Arathi. Yeah, and you probably have questions, right? So these are descendants of the original Arathorian Empire, and they've arrived relatively recently and through some somewhat mysterious circumstances. And they find themselves trapped here within Khaz-Algar. Mysterious mostly because I can't say anything more about it just yet because of spoilers, but it's not like spooky mysterious, it's the other kind. As a people, the Arathi are worshippers and wielders of holy fire. They are dedicated to bringing hope and light to the darkness. They're tough, resilient people, with every member of the society being an able combatant. Some few are further blessed with paladin-like abilities through their devotion to the light. Even their airships are powered by sacred flame. The extent to which they're comfortable in battle is probably a good thing because they have established a home away from home in an enormous cavern bordered by an endless underground sea from which terrifying creatures emerge to rampage and create havoc. Not my idea of a cool place to hang out, but they're really, really tough. These watery monstrosities, though, are nothing compared to the threat from below. A constant swarm of Nerubians has been held back so far from invading the Arathi lands. The assault is unrelenting, the threat is dire, and the Arathi can't hold much longer. These bastions of light against the darkness are far from home and limited in number. Sure would be terrible if there was also division within the Arathi ranks. Just saying. That would be pretty rough, what with them being so outnumbered. We could probably help them. All right, speaking of the Nerubians in the War Within, we'll explore their last kingdom deep within Khaz-Algar. These ancient survivors of the Black Empire who rejected their former masters have developed their own culture here in the deep darkness. As Taryn mentioned earlier, Xal'atath has made a bargain with the Nerubian queen Ansarek, who seeks a new future and renewed glory for her people. The Nerubians are extremely capable and devious adversaries who have been honing their skills with their constant assault on the Arathi. But domination hasn't come fast enough for the queen's taste, as the Arathi has managed to hold against this onslaught. So this deal with the Harbinger has included some assistance for her troops. Through some dark alchemical process, Xal'atath has provided the knowledge required to evolve chosen Nerubians into paragons of their race, enhancing their viciousness. And Queen Ansarek has embraced these modifications with enthusiasm and eagerly offered her army to achieve the Harbinger's schemes. It appears to be a win-win situation. But not all Nerubians share their sovereign's enthusiasm for change and her embrace of Xal'atath. Shadowy figures with far too many limbs maneuver against the Harbinger's plans in opposition to the Queen's desire. As you might expect, any foray into this Nerubian kingdom introduces us to a variety of citizens, including some forms we've never encountered before. Here's a layout of some of the Nerubian models that are completed and also some that are in progress, as well as scale reference for goblins and humans, so you just get a sense of size. In addition to the Nerubian citizens, there are also domesticated insects who serve the kingdom as beasts of burden and pets. The team is hard at work building out the full range of carapaces, carapae, I don't know, whichever, skittering legs, grabby arms, piercing spiky bits, and creepy eyes for you to enjoy, I guess. All right, let's talk about our zones. The surface of Khaz-Algar is our first zone, called the Isle of Dorn. This is the home of the earthen surface dwellers, as well as other native species of creatures. The fertile soil, flowering plant life, and generous waterways provide nourishment for animals in this untouched paradise. An important facet of earthen society is Cinderbrew mead. This volatile substance is manufactured from molten honey, produced by enormous fiery bees. Their home groves are a remarkable sight as the hearts of the trees themselves glow with lava-like fluid. Harvesting is always an exciting time as the ferocious creatures are understandably protective of their hives. Now the roosts at Storm Watch are wreathed with lightning and fierce winds. These wild elemental rooks may choose to serve a member of the Oathsworn, who, if so blessed, becomes a Storm Rider, one of the guardian warriors of the Earthen people. The Unbound deal with hostile creatures from time to time, but for the most part, the existence is fairly relatively peaceful, fairly sort of peaceful. Their comfortable homes are often situated near the places where they once labored as adherents to the edicts. Those sites are now in disrepair, and in some cases, the lair of other creatures. Of course, the Isle of Dorn boasts a great walled city where the Oathsworn live and serve the edicts of the Titans. The city of Dornagal is the location of many important civic buildings, markets, traders, and crafters. And it's here that a traveler will find the expected amenities of a capital city, as well as the Titan Causeway, the defense of which is the Oathsworn's primary charge. Now, beneath the surface of the Isle of Dorn lies our second zone, the Ringing Deeps. As the name suggests, it is here that the Earthen are engaged in their work in accordance with the edicts. In these industrial areas of this cavernous space are huge, complicated machines, lava-heated foundries and forges, and waterworks, both to cool and to power huge machinery. Maintaining these Titan mechanisms and keeping everything running is both the responsibility and the passion of the machine speakers. The Earth has shifted too in places, revealing openings to the sky above to the Isle of Dorn. These cenotes bring light and water into areas once shrouded in darkness. Abundant greenery, flowers, and creatures that do not typically dwell in caverns may be found in these idyllic spots. It was really important to us as developers that we delivered the fantasy of the hard-working industry, but still had some break-up areas of natural beauty that don't feel like dark, constrained tunnels. Now, as the machine speaker population has dropped, they've had increasing difficulties with kobold incursions, and indeed the kobolds have taken over the mines, the work areas. They've even built a city of their own. Unexpectedly, the kobolds are actually becoming a force to be reckoned with under the aggressive actions of their leader, the Candle King. You knew it had to be a candle.
What?
No take candle. No take candle. With the passage of time, the Earthen have diminished both in number and in the knowledge required to perform the various routines to tune and repair the processes. The old ways have been forgotten, and new creative methods must be employed if the edicts are to be obeyed. So they're kind of making it up as they go along. From the Ringing Deeps, we descend further into Khazalgar to reach Hollowfall, a vast hollow area in the Earth, bordered by an endless underground sea. This tenuous foothold under the bright light of an enormous crystal has allowed the Arathi to survive, using their airships to travel to high plateaus and establish
Final
docks,
Fantasy 14
light towers, villages, and even a priory. From their capital of Merildar, these trapped people strive to keep hope alive and spread the light, while engaged in a near constant battle with the Nerubians at their borders. The open spaces, the bright light, and the greenery are intended to feel as though we're on the surface, somehow, rather than in this sort of strange hollow within Azeroth. The crystal provides brilliant light, warmth, and growth for vegetation. You may notice that all the blooming plants have opened their blossoms toward the light and seem to be reaching in that direction whenever they're in Hollowfall. Unfortunately, the crystal sun has been changing in recent years. Where once the light was steady and reliable, it now fades without warning, plunging the Arathi into darkness, save where they have built light towers and maintain their holy flame beacons. In the absence of this light, the dangerous Kobis and other fierce creatures emerge from the sea to rampage. As the Arathi are barely holding back the Nerubians, these unpredictable episodes are incredibly demoralizing and deadly. Happily, the light has always returned to the crystal, so far. And at the deepest descent in the war within, we reach the zone of Azj-Kahet. That almost rhymes. Anyway, the Nerubian city of Threads has been built on the ruins of itself, over and over and over again. As areas decay and crumble, a new district is built upon its ruins, and as a result, the city climbs ever higher. Those Nerubians favored by the queen, or possessing enormous wealth, or both, command the greatest views and live in the highest places over these swarming masses of the many districts. The Burrows is the home of the scavengers, the forgotten, deep in the decay and the filth. The Umbral Bazaar is a trading hub of fine silks, fascinating alchemical discoveries, and other exotic and hard-to-find goods. The Skeins are the home of the lore keepers and scholars who toil to maintain the history of their people and research myths and legends of Azeroth. There are many other districts and less than savory neighborhoods, both well-known and secret, that the careful adventurer could discover should they risk life and limb to do so. But the key to such exploration is fitting in among the Nerubians and being accepted, an enterprise best accomplished through skill in the use of pheromones and considerable bravery. The zone of Aj-Kahet features areas of spectacular dark beauty that are inhabited by these creatures that have found a way to live among the Nerubians without being deemed a threat, found to be particularly tasty to consume, or just too much fun to torment. The mobilization of forces to assault the Arathi while also providing military might to achieve Xal'atath's schemes has stirred up all sorts of inhabitants of the darkness. And deep within the city itself, the Nerubians are gathering an odd substance, the black blood of the old gods, for some unknown purpose. But I'm sure that's fine. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about our zone flow. As I mentioned, awesome, huh? We travel from the Isle of Dorn into the Ringing Deeps, into Hollowfall, and then into Aj-Kahet. In the War Within, all of our zones are connected all together using the airlock technology that we developed for Zarelek Cavern, allowing for this seamless descent from the Isle of Dorn all the way to Aj-Kahet. That was video I just captured last week of the transition between the Ringing Deeps and Hollowfall. As you can see, we built for dynamic flight, and we were able to flow directly between the zones without the load screen. There is some seriously amazing swoopy goodness to be had moving across these zones and through these spaces. It feels so cool to burst out of a really tight area and into just a huge drop like that. It's so exhilarating. Now, this blobby map that I've got up here was an early attempt during development of our zone flow to try to figure out how we would stack these zones together and achieve the relationship between their geography and geometry that made sense and felt great to traverse. We ended up with something slightly different than this, but this is pretty representative to explain what the world builders were thinking about when they planned these spaces out. It was really important to our design that while 3 of the 4 zones are technically underground, they didn't feel that way, and that they were distinctly different from one another. We pursued that goal by introducing the natural cenotes in the Ringing Deeps and leaning into the fantasy of the classic underground foundry and industrial workspaces. So even in the zone that felt the tightest, there's places that look as though they're actually on the surface. And within Hollowfall, we created a massive hollow space in a cavern so vast it feels like an exterior, with a huge artificial sun in the form of a gigantic crystal. And in Aj-Kahet, we leaned hard into traditional Nerubian architecture with hanging nests and huge palaces built all over a decaying city that just falls away into the depths. And that is the last bit of eye candy I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this peek at what we've got in development. So now it's time for me to introduce you to Morgan Day, who's going to give you lots of information about dungeons, raids, and systems. Enjoy. Thanks very much. Bye.
I'm going for the water. Be right back.
Hello, Blizzcon. My name is Morgan Day, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the upcoming content, features, and systems in The War Within. I'm sure I'll also make some funny faces that I'll regret later in thumbnails, but whatever. First up, let's talk about dungeons. There will be 8 new dungeons coming in The War Within, 4 during level up, 1 in each of the 4 zones that Maria just walked us through, as well as 4 at max level. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening in these dungeons. For instance, we have like a kobold dungeon where you'll meet that Candle King, where there's like a light mechanic that takes place. You have to kind of keep it going to light your way. There's a dragon riding dungeon, of course, but also one of my favorites is the Cinderbrew Meadery that Maria just talked us through. So this is a dungeon that takes place on our first zone, the Isle of Dorn, which is where you'll experience, all of our earthen buddies, and this is the place where they make that Cinderbrew mead that she was talking about. They take in all that honey that they gather from throughout the zone to make the mead, to do all kinds of fun and/or nefarious things with. Although I do have to say, I feel like they're a little bit behind the times. I feel like all the kids are drinking that, hard seltzer or something these days, but whatever. They're old school, I get it. Next up, our raid, the Nerubar Palace. So this is an 8-boss raid that will take place in the zone of Aj-Kahet. And this is really the culmination of all of those machinations we keep hearing about that we see play out between the Nerubian Empire, their queen, and her collaboration with Xal'atath. So for this next one, we don't normally show things this early, but I thought it'd be cool to share. On the left there, you can kind of see the top-down view of the raid, and on the right, it's more of like a side cutout. So we like to work on all of our dungeons and raids when they still look like this, as it's much easier to iterate while we're in 2D than it is to kind of change the zones around once we're in the game and it's all blocked out. So to step us through the raid really quickly, after barging through the front door, you'll very quickly fall and/or get knocked into one of those giant pits of that black blood of the old god that you'll hear much more about in Aj-Kahet. And then you'll battle your way through the harvest pits, and then finally traverse your way back up through the stalactite wing, which is not a final name, I promise, until you finally fight your way into the Queen's inner sanctum, where you'll come face to face with her as the end boss. So as you can see, this will kind of feel like a winged raid in terms of the vibes, but in terms of the player experience, it'll actually be quite a bit more linear than what you might be used to for a raid with some winged vibes. So something that I also think is fun to talk about really quick is with all of our dungeons and raids, we like to try to explore what is the thing that's going to make this space feel really unique, that's going to make it stand out from all the other times that we've built these dungeons and raids. And with this space, we really thought that, given that we have the Nerubian to play with, they've got all these amazing webs and silken threads that you can kind of traverse the zone through, we thought it'd be really fun to explore verticality as a major element of this raid. So I think that'll be really fun to see what the team comes up with for that. Next up, let's talk about systems.
Oh boy.
So
oh
I'm
my.
walking through some of our features and systems at a really high level, but first I want to talk about some of the philosophies that are really guiding us to add these into the War Within. So first and foremost, we really want to continue to extend the philosophies of Dragonflight into the War Within. And really, when we talk about that, there's 3 main pillars that I want to touch on. First, we really want to make sure that we're focusing on evergreen features. We want to make sure that we're making World of Warcraft better forever and not focusing on things that we know we're going to have to leave behind as we move into future expansions.
Yeah, we already heard that for Dragonflight.
Next, we want to make sure that there's something for everyone. So whether you're a hardcore raider, a PvPer, a collector, or apparently like Holly, you just love to play tons of alts and run around the world exploring things, we want to make sure that there's something in War Within that you can really geek out over and that resonates with you. And finally, we want to make sure that we're continuing to build on our philosophy and build on our systems and content with people who play multiple characters in mind. We want to make sure...
Nice.
We want to make sure that we're building all of our systems to really respect the time of the player behind the keyboard and not focusing so much on the accomplishments of that individual character.
Oh, okay. If they do it, I might come back to this game.
So let's talk about delves. Delves are a new feature that will be integrated into the outdoor world experience, where the fantasy of these is actually that you'll be joining the Dragonscale expedition in their search for lost treasures all across Khazalgar. So delves are an evergreen feature that is really integrated into that outdoor world experience. We want delves to be a new pillar of endgame content for those outdoor world explorers. We really view this as something like when we added World Quest back in Legion. where they are going to be really integrated and transformative into that outdoor world, especially that endgame loop. So one of the main reasons I'm stoked about Delves is that these will provide an opportunity for us to, give seasonal content and rewards to those outdoor world explorers. So that means things like, rewards that you're used to, like mounts, achievements, titles, but we'll also be adding a outdoor row to the Great Vault with War Within. So that all of you outdoor world explorers will be able to share in the joy of, rushing to the Great Vault every week to collect your loot.
That's cool.
And there will also be 13 unique delves that we'll be launching War Within with. And delves will scale from 1 to 5 players and be role agnostic. So that means if you want to play a delve solo, that's totally cool. If you want to go with you and your partner, that works as well. Or you can bring your whole dungeon group in, and the delve will scale based on your group size and your roles. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention one of my favorite features of delves, which I think Maria alluded to earlier, which is that there will be an NPC companion joining you on all of your adventures. So for Season 1, that'll be Bran Bronzebeard, as you can see.
That's interesting.
And Bran will be tagging along with you on all of your delve adventures and will totally never, not even once, aggro a pack of monsters that you didn't want him to. And I don't have my fingers crossed behind my back right now. So Bran will have a customizable talents and mechanics and abilities that you'll be able to kind of load out to suit your playstyle and needs. So, maybe you need a little bit of extra healing. Well, you can load Bran out to provide that for you. And finally, you wouldn't be exploring with the Dragonscale Expedition if at the end of every delve there wasn't this massive treasure trove that we need Bran to open for us, which hopefully brought a couple of keys to open some of the chests in there. But before Bran can open that vault for you, you'll need to maybe defeat a boss, maybe you'll solve a couple puzzles, something like that, and then Bran will be able to open that vault door for you. Next up, let's talk about warbands. It's happening! So warbands are a system that we're introducing that will really be the representation of all of your characters across your Battle.net account. Warbands are an opportunity for us to create a platform where you can share your achievements, resources, and all that other good stuff across all of those characters. So the goal of this system is really to be that representation of the philosophy shift that I mentioned earlier about really respecting the time of the player behind the keyboards and not those individual characters. There's actually a ton of additions and modifications. We've talked about a few here. There's no singular UI screen that says warbands. It's more of all these modifications and updates and features are kind of wearing a big coat that says warbands on the back of it. It's how I kind of keep it straight in my head. But just to talk about a couple of those cool features, we'll actually be revisiting the transmog rules of how you acquire those appearances in the War Within. So for all of you who have So that means all of you who have probably had to run 4 characters through all of those legacy instances just to make sure you're collecting all the appearances, that won't be the case anymore in War Within. You'll just be able to run it with 1 character.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
And oh yeah, Holly mentioned this already, but this is obviously one that people are looking forward to. All of our reputations as well as renown in the War Within will be shared across your entire account.
Holy big fucking W, dude. Wow.
Last but not least, let's talk about hero talents. So here's a quick mock-up of what the UI will look like that I think really helps explain how these integrate into our current talent trees. But really quick, let's take a look at how this will work. So there will be 3 new hero talent trees per class, and 2 will be available per specialization that you can freely choose and swap between. And also, this is another evergreen feature. This is a system that we think is going to provide a new vector of choice and customization for you and all of your classes, as well as create opportunities for us to really dig into some of those core class fantasies that are, so amazing. So Hero Talents will introduce these new, small, self-contained talent trees like you just saw in the UI. And the way I like to think about it is like, currently we have two types of talent points, right? We have class talent points and specialization talent points. And now in the War Within, there'll be a third type called Hero Talent points. So let's look at a quick example, which hopefully explains it a little bit more. This is a warrior, as you can see.
Oh, yeah.
These are the 3 hero talent trees that they'll have available: Mountain Thane, Colossus, and Slayer. And as you can see in the top left, we have Protection, who will be able to choose between Mountain Thane and Colossus. Up on the right, you see Fury. Yep, that's right. Mountain Thane and Slayer are their options. And down at the bottom, Colossus and Slayer are their options. So this is how the majority of our classes are going to look in the War Within. The exception, of course, being Druids and Demon Hunters, who are a bit special, so theirs will look a little different. So let's take a look at how you'll unlock the system, as well as how it'll feel playing through as you're leveling through the War Within. So the system will automatically unlock at level 71, and it'll just kind of appear in your UI. You'll earn 1 talent point per level as you level from 71 to 80. And there are 10 talent points in total, with several choice nodes along the way. So I like to think of this as being similar to like the Legion artifact, where as you were leveling and progressing, you were making some choices along the way, but ultimately you're going to unlock the whole tree. And also, I want to be very clear here. These are extremely low friction to swap between those choice nodes, as well as to swap between the different hero talent trees. So, this should be very analogous to your current talent trees and will follow all the same rules that you used to there. So, at the start of a raid boss, before a Mythic Plus starts, before an arena match kicks off, and anywhere in between. And to wrap us up, I wanted to show off a really quick video of what hero talents look like in action.
Oh.
So this is a warrior, as you can see, pop an avatar, jumping in. And this next one is that same warrior with the Mountain Thane talent tree. As you can see, Stormbolt hits multiple targets. There's a couple of cool new V effects, and a lot of other cool stuff going on there as well. I heard some oohs. Ooh. Our effects artists will be happy. So that about wraps us up for our What's Next panel.
Okay. Cool.
We hope you really liked what you saw here, and if you'd like to know more, please join us tomorrow at the Deep Dive panel at noon, where Ian will walk you through some of what you saw today in more detail. Woo, Ian! As well as a bunch of other cool new stuff in the War Within. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a great BlizzCon. Bye!
Okay.
And I know you guys love the whole thing to be clear as possible, so we fixed it. And if you think about like Tracer and Reaper, they have 2 guns, right? But Mauga's gun is, I would say, a little bit bigger than these guns. So that's why that issue showed up when we did these guns, and we just edited it, and hopefully now it just looks perfect, and you guys will love it.
And beyond his guns, his ability Overrun is also quite fun. Let's see a video of it in action. As you can see, he charges forward and he lands in a huge stomp, launching his opponents in the air. This, I think, perfectly encapsulates Mauga's personality.
Definitely. During Overrun, Mauga is actually unstoppable. He cannot be CC'd, you can't sleep him, you can't boop him, you can't stop him from getting where he wants to go, because he's this big guy who just needs to get where he needs to be. So once he starts going, he's going. Get out of his way and prepare for once he stops. Also, when he lands on an enemy, as you can see here with Reinhardt, if you are precise and land directly on an enemy, it's a brief stun. So if you've got a Cassidy preparing his ult and you want to stop that, you can charge right in and land on him, and that's a stun. It'll stun him right out of his ult.
So hacked. Yeah, it's nice. It has a little bit of skill expression there. It's one of those abilities that was really important for Mauga
that we had to get right because he is this big body. So, if he's charging at you, it was really easy to CC him in that way. So adding Unstoppable here allows Malga to get where he wants to go, get in the fight, rail down on both chain guns, like hold both those buttons down and deal a lot of damage. Right. But this ability in particular went through quite a bit of iterations. There was one version where Malga would run up and launch the enemy behind him. I think a lot of the kit at the time was Malga was an anti-air tank overall. So he was dealing critical damage to any enemy in the air. So you would throw them behind you, you'd turn around, you'd actually use Sigma's Rock as a combo back then. So yeah, this ability in particular, a bunch of iterations, and I really like this version that we ended up with. It is something that is forceful, allows Malga to get in, and the stomp at the end was something that came in rather late in development, but it was just icing on the cake to an already great ability.
Right. Also, if you're curious about just avoiding it, compared to Reinhardt's charge, this can make the hairpin turn in Circuit Royale, so good luck avoiding it by going around a corner real quick.
Yeah. Poor Reinhardt. Cardiac Overdrive. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Malga's second ability here, Cardiac Overdrive. When thinking about Malga's defensive capabilities, we wanted to match his personality and playstyle. He's destructive. He likes to get in. He likes to deal a bunch of damage. We'll get the scoreboards later on today during your Malga games. There's going to be a lot of damage from Malga in particular. But how can we capture those things with the way Malga sustains himself and also make him, help his team? The role of a tank to actually lift those allies up a little bit too. So let's take a look at Cardiac Overdrive here.
Yep. When you activate Cardiac Overdrive, Malga and his nearby allies receive damage reduction and receive healing based on how much damage they do. It's a big lifesteal aura that gives your team the window to turn the fight in their favor. It pairs well with other heroes that have high damage output and are able to move with the aura. Heroes like to get in the mix. If you think about a Reaper double dipping with Cardiac Overdrive with his own lifesteal, that's good. That's super scary. In this video, which should show up anytime right now.
I think we have a video queued up for it as well. You'll see Soldier 76 will be gaining some health right here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you look at Soldier HP as he's shooting with the Cardiac Overdrive, you can see how it's healing up. We visually needed to find a way to let you know that you are getting that aura. So on the screen, we added a burning effect. It's really important to find that balance, communicating to players that is going on without overloading the screen with too many different things that can either be distracting to or use up computer resources.
Yeah, this one went through quite a few iterations as well. Many of the early renditions of the ability were quite selfish, actually. He had this adrenaline meter where by dealing damage, you gain movement speed, and then you could consume some of it to actually heal yourself. And then that ended up becoming his Berserker passive. So a lot of that came in where it's like, hey, Malga still wants some self-sustain in there. Another version that we tried left a pull on the ground instead of traveling with Malga. But you'd be confined to this space, and it kind of fought against how aggressive Malga wants to be. He really wants to use Overrun to get in there, and just deal a bunch of damage, be destructive, be brutal. So by putting what that ability was, ended up on the Berserker passive, it freed up Cardiac Overdrive to be something that you could use for your team. And with how it works now, encourages Malga to use it, get in with his teammates, this big window of opportunity. Characters like Mei and Reaper really love this ability.
The sound design of this ability is worth shouting out as well. When you initiate the ability, you actually hear the sound of double racing heartbeats because leaked fun fact, Manga has 2 hearts. He received a cybernetic heart during a pretty intense battle, and then later on upgraded his organic one. And the sound team really hit it out of the park. It's such a visceral, powerful sound. It really makes you feel powerful in the moment. Yeah. And actually, you can see heart canisters in the Samoa map in Manga's room for his, regularly cybernetic upgrades. And of course, alongside we can't forget his shark slippers, because Malga likes to relax in style.
I need a pair of those.
Yeah, thank you to the environment art team, because they always take my silly ideas and just run with it without questioning me.
So speaking of heart canisters and shark slippers, that brings us to his ultimate, Cage Fight. So for his ultimate, Maga deploys a barrier, and along with it, as you can see in the middle, a little totem that traps everyone inside that barrier with him. So any enemies that are in the location where he is, it isolates all of them with him for him to be able to take them on 1v1, 1v3, 1v5 if you're feeling spicy. But it isolates these targets by putting a huge barrier around him, which means the rest of the team might be locked off for them, and it keeps them inside, which can prevent them from getting where they need to go. So the biggest challenge when developing Cage Fight was keying into having players understand what this ult does and how it works. And so we developed it with these chains that are very visible and hold you in place so you know you're trapped and you know you really need to knuckle down and defend yourself against this man who's coming at you with you trapped in here with him. And we have a video for that. So as you can see, when he deploys it, the Reinhardts are chained with him within this barrier. He can unload on them. You also might notice that he has infinite ammo during this ultimate, so people are trapped in short range with you, and you may as well just hold down both of your buttons at that point.
Yeah, it's an ultimate that can be quite versatile, depending on the situation, the team composition,
Jesus,
the state of the
it's
battle.
melting
A lot
him.
of times, you really want to get one target in there, isolate them from the rest of their team, try to burst down a support. But sometimes, we've seen a lot of playtests, people that go and they want to trap the whole team in there, right? I think there's already some combos online that people are discovering. If Malga traps the whole team in there, Lifeweaver can pull Malga out, but the rest of the enemies stay in that zone, stay in the cage fight. So there's a lot of things you can do here. Sometimes it's also just a giant barrier. It can just be this big barrier in the clutch because it has a bunch of health, quite big, takes up a lot of space.
And recently someone said, Maga is starting a fight he has no intention of losing, and a big part of that is knowing when and where to start that fight. So playing as Maga at the lower level, just trapping people with you is a really good thing. It feels good, but at the higher levels, knowing when and where to deploy that to keep the tank from getting back to the point, to trap supports with you so they can't help their team, to trap a specific hero so that their supports need to decide if they need to jump in this barrier with you or not to try to defend them and protect them. You wind up with a lot of these cases where based on your comp and their comp, you can make some really interesting, fun decisions about how you should use this ult.
Yeah, and this was an ability that we actually tried previously as well. There's a bunch of iterations for other heroes at one point, right?
Yes, this was actually originally Diva ult. Way back when we were developing Diva.
Questionable version as well.
Yeah. Oh no, the Diva version was actually a giant sphere that shot lasers at everybody inside of it. And we didn't go with that. It didn't feel good for that hero, but we never throw anything away, so we worked on it. There's been a few different iterations over the years, and with this one, I think we really nailed what we want.
Yeah, one of the most difficult things to get right, I think recently we tried this for Junker Queen as well at one point. One of the most difficult things to get right was the shape language of, hey, or the communication going on here where you're in a barrier, but then you're also stuck there. So we tried some things where it was a physical wall, actually, instead of a barrier to sort of communicate that. But then the chains came in, and that was really the difference. And I think the strike team and everyone working on Malga knocked out of the park to finally get that one right.
Surprisingly, this is the one time that solo ulting someone is not overly frowned upon.
Wait, he's not saying you should do it, though.
Yeah, and for those of you playing him, keep an ear out, because if you trap only one enemy, there might be a fun little Easter egg voice line.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and before we finish up here, I do want to talk a little bit about, Malga and where he fits in the game, right?
Right.
So Malga, we envision him as being in a lot of different comps, similar, a lot of different rush comps, similar to Reinhardt or Junker Queen. If you think about heroes that are going to enable him, you think about heroes like Lucio that can really get him into a fight fairly quickly, or even someone who can sustain him. Malga's this big body. He needs a lot of healing, right? So maybe someone like Lifeweaver can help him out and actually keep Malga alive in that fight. And then tanks going against him. He is a tank that relies on dealing damage to keep himself alive. So if you think of who can prevent that, tanks like Diva, tanks like Sigma are definitely ones that have a good chance against countering Malga.
That's awesome. Well, as you guys can see, the team really put a lot of love and care into these heroes, but Malga feels extra special. We really went that extra mile to make sure he was just right. But before we leave, I wanted to talk with the guys just really quickly, what has it been like working on? What has it meant to you working on Malga? Can you tell?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just been an honor to work on one of the most anticipated heroes of Overwatch 2. The narrative foundation was so strong. It was just so much fun and a privilege to just build upon that. And I think we all sort of remarked on this when we were talking with all of the Samoan cultural consultants. We all, they were all just so joyful. They had this joie de vivre. And we were all really inspired by that. So I think you could really see it in the hero. You know, he's just a big guy. He wants to have fun.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to instill that part of the culture into the hero itself.
Awesome. Alex, he's finally out.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, people are playing Malga right now. That's incredible. But I think one of the biggest things taken away from Malga's development is seeing how the team took the time to get Malga right. You know, at one time we talked about Malga with Sigma. We also switched Malga for Matra to have more time on Malga in particular. And it was just the team taking the time to make sure that this hero in particular came out in the best iteration possible. So shout out to Josh No and the rest of the Malga Strike team for what we're going to release in Season 8.
Cool. And Foster?
Applause. Season 8.
Josh No.
So,
Thank you.
So one of the things I really love about Overwatch Heroes is how big and bold and over the top they are. Their personalities as well as, you know, abilities in a video game. And Malga, I think, really nails that kind of big, bold personality that I love in our heroes. He's out there, he's open, he's big. And when we nail that really well, they become charismatic beyond the kinds of people they may actually be. So the previous hero that did this for me was Junker Queen. Junker Queen is this big, bold personality. Even though she's not the greatest person overall, you really connect with her and her personality and how big she is. And they're, what? I love Junker Queen. Have you seen what she does to Omnix?
And Rick, oh, sorry, you.
So, I think Malga also nails that, where despite what he does and his work with Talon and the kind of person he is, he's so big and lovable that you just really want to connect with him, and you do, and you enjoy playing him as a hero, as a person, as much as a tool set that really works with you in gameplay.
It's awesome.
Well, I gotta say, Malga is probably one of my favorite heroes for now, like design-wise, I love it. And like getting to work on his guns and just seeing the process of how they started till the end, like how all the challenges that we got and how we just, you know, got through all of them and we got the final designs. That was just I will never forget that experience. And his personality, as Foster said, is incredible. I love him, and I need to know his workout routine, obviously. Like, look at that guy. Yeah, it's been an incredible journey working on this here, for sure.
That's awesome. And yeah, for me, I kind of mentioned earlier in open ceremony, whenever we make an Overwatch hero, we really want people to see themselves in our hero. This guy looks like someone I know. He looks like me, or his abilities are super fun to play. And I think we really nailed this with Malga. And Overwatch in general is this globe-trotting adventure. You're traveling the world, you're meeting these different characters, these different heroes, and we're trying to hit every culture, represent everybody as best we can. And I feel like the effort that went into this one, it just was next level. So you guys are super awesome. And thank you to all you guys for joining us today. And have a fantastic weekend. And before we go, sorry, don't miss tomorrow's What's Next panel, where we'll be showing a bit more of the heroes coming after Malga, actually, with Aaron and friends. And my last thing I love about Malga is I love his guns. Not just these, but Gunny and Cha-Cha. And speaking of Cha-Cha,
what?
Good afternoon, everyone. Here's our next presentation. World of Warcraft Classic, What's Next?
Oh shit. Hello, yeah.
Hola, Blizzcon! Hi! My name is Ana Resendes, and I am one of the 2 lead software engineers on the World of Warcraft Classic team. Today, today I will be joined by 3 other of my members of the Classic team. Josh Greenfield, our senior producer. Nora Valera, my fellow lead software engineer. And Tim Jones, our team's lead designer. It is an honor for us to represent the Classic team and talk to you about so many of the things we're working on WoW Classic. So today, let's talk about the Classic journey so far, plus Cataclysm Classic, Hardcore, and a newer season, Season of Discovery. Yeah. So you know, WoW Classic was announced at Blizzcon 6 years ago. And ever since that day, the team worked really hard to bring those precious memories of WoW to you and to me. The Classic journey officially started when you joined us in 2019 back in Azeroth creating a new character. Remembering the importance of having a good wand and being careful of how many mobs you pull at a time. We went through the journey of getting your first mount and feeling like you were riding the most powerful machine, making all those level 10s jealous of your speed. Eventually, we hit 60 levels, and we went on to face some of the most iconic challenges, including the Fire Lord himself, Lord Ragnaros. We ran the Gong of Anchorage and saw new Scar Lords walking among us. We completed our journey at level 60 by adventuring into Naxxramas with 39 other of our friends. In 2021, the Dark Portal opened, and us brave heroes stepped forward into a new world to face the Born Legion. In Outland, we learned to fly and see the world from a different perspective. And after killing many Talbot, we contested Illidan, and turns out, you know, maybe we were prepared after all. Later on, we explored the coldest continent of Azeroth. We arrived to Nordrend via boat of Zeppelin, and we started hearing about the presence of the Lich King. We became masters of vehicles, and if you're like me, indeed press that red button. Yeah, oops. All to prepare ourselves for the ultimate combat and defeat the Lich King on top of Icecrown Citadel. You know, as you heard earlier from our executive producer, Holly, our journey will continue into Cataclysm Classic in 2024. The Classic journey started with you as a love letter to the WoW community. We asked what you wanted, you responded to us, and we listened. And as we move onward, we look to bring new Classic experiences to life, Cata and beyond. We're driven by smart changes as informed by you. So this is Cata for you. You know, but before we talk about all the changes that we're bringing to Cataclysm Classic, let's talk about some of the features that will be returning as your journey to the new level cap to 85. So Goblins will be joining the Horde, Worgens will be joining the Alliance. Worgens, go! Cataclysm also unlocks a bigger combination of classes and races. For players that like to play as a Night Elf Mage, your time is now. Transmogs are coming back into Cataclysm. Start getting those ideas ready for your next Transmog contest. For the Explorers, there's also where Archaeology makes its debut. And for our PvP fans, Raided Backgrounds are coming back. Yeah, love PvP. The world will be changed after Sharding of Deathwing. No giant swords just yet, but big changes to Azeroth nonetheless. Along with graphical improvements, literally thousands of new quests await you across different continents. And of course, you will also be able to unlock flying in Azeroth. As the world changes, it comes with some of the most iconic dungeons and raids that you have ever experienced. All in all, this comes with 5 new zones, 10 new dungeons, and 7 new raids. And
7.
speaking of those
Holy.
raids, Cataclysm had a hugely varied opening tiers of raiding, including Bastion of Twilight, where after defeating our 2-headed mage Cho'Gall, a surprise appearance from Sinestra awaits. Later, we will venture into Firelands, soaring through rings of fire against Alice Razor, and seeing Ragnaros take his first baby steps. They grow up so quickly. This is just some of what we know, but what are we bringing new to Classic? What's new for Cataclysm Classic? We have seen a ton of positive feedback in the community around the new Titan Rune dungeon system in Grad, or as you might know it as Heroic Plus, allowing you new deterministic opportunities to gear up. So we're excited to bring the spirit of those forwards into Cataclysm for you to experience these new takes on Cataclysm dungeons. We will be making updates to the guild advancement system introducing Cataclysm. We want to ensure that guilds that are on the smaller side are not left behind. In past years, we heard from you about wanting to have collections UI in Classic. So we're happy to have introduced that in our final patch of Grad. And now transmogs will live in it too, and they're gonna be account-wide. So get all those alts together and get all that gear. Classic gives us the opportunity to revisit the cadence at which we release content and patches. I think we all know when a patch has overstayed its welcome, which is why we're excited to announce that Cataclassic will be experienced at a faster rate, faster than the original. And with that, we're also making changes to the leveling speed for new characters to get to level 80. But these are just some of the changes that are coming to Cataclysm Classic. We also have other topics of discussion in the team. But as we said, WoW Classic started as a love letter to the community, and we continue to look to you and you to provide great feedback. So if you're here at Blizzcon, please swing back the Darkmoon Fair that is over there. There's a mailbox where you can submit any questions you have. And for those of you at home, talking to you, there's gonna be open threads in all the WoW forums in every region, and we look forward for your thoughts about all things Classic. Thank you again for taking this journey with us as we venture forward into our mysterious future. Speaking of the amazing contributions from the community, let's talk about hardcore. Yeah, hardcore. Yeah. So I have a question for people here. Who here has made it to level 16 hardcore? Yeah, that's very, very impressive. That's really, really impressive. But, okay, who here has died before level 16 hardcore?
Everyone.
Yeah. Me too. You and I, my friends, that has happened. But in fact, you're not alone. Yeah. You have joined the graveyard alongside all these characters, including those unfortunate hunters. So here are updated stats from end of last month. And for our next information of data here, I do not have a data table for this, but let's take a look at some reenactments of the 3 most common environmental deaths in hardcore. So who else was looting that final mob and forgot to take a look at their breath meter? Or maybe you were too busy typing in the chat in Ironforge and became one with the Great Forge.
Oh, no.
Or you misjudged the distance and gravity gave you a moral reminder. I've been there. Yeah, I mean, these are some dumb ways to die, but on the opposite side, there are so much more heroic ways to die. And we have been super excited to see how players have engaged with our new feature, Duel to the Dead, Mokora. Yeah, we're very impressed by the community events and all the players that have been brave enough to participate in them. It takes a lot. But As Colin mentioned earlier today, we have a new optional rule set coming to Hardcore. So we are excited to officially announce that Self-Found will be coming to Hardcore in early 2024. Yeah.
Self-Found. Wait,
Players that
what does
opt
that?
into this mode won't be able to trade, use the mail, or use the action house until you reach max level. We hope that you join us to take on this new challenge. So yeah, on behalf of the Classic team,
Oh, that's what they wanted.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Classic journey so far. And we can't wait to see you back in Azeroth. So now, I know everybody wants to hear more about the Season of Discoveries, so I'm gonna bring in, my senior producer, Josh Greenfield. Thank you.
Wow, look at this crowd. Hello, Blizzcon. My name's Josh Greenfield, and I'm the senior game producer on WoW Classic. I'm here to talk to you today about our new season for Classic World of Warcraft, Season of Discovery. Today, I'm going to give you an introduction and an overview of what our season is at a very high level, as well as giving you an idea of what our major features are. After this overview, I'm gonna hand things off to a few other Classic team members to dig into some specifics about what I'm gonna cover. So let's go ahead and jump in. So it seems fitting to start off talking about discoveries. It's in the name after all, so it seems pretty important to the season. When you first start a character in Season of Discovery, it'll look and feel identical to original World of Warcraft. You'll slay kobolds, you'll give lazy peons a bonk, all the kind of normal things you do when starting fresh in World of Warcraft. When you get to around level 2, however, in the starter zone, your class trainer will offer you a new quest, and this is to go find your first rune. We'll talk about runes in a little bit more in a minute, but after that intro quest, the game simply tells you, go find more. And that's kind of where discoveries come in. Discoveries are essentially secrets hidden throughout the game world. They usually aren't quests in the traditional sense. There's nothing on your map to show them to you. This is Classic after all. And some may be as simple as a treasure coffer deep in a kobold mine, but many are small events kind of unto themselves, oftentimes requiring more than one player, a little bit of creativity, or some keen observation skills to obtain. One of the things we love about Azeroth is the sense of awe and wonder it inspires. It's a massive world. But due to the kind of solved nature of original WoW, it can sometimes feel a lot smaller than it did when we first started our adventures. Discoveries are a way to disrupt that a bit. Keep the world familiar, comfortable, but add enough new things to find to evoke that sense of adventure and exploration we first felt when we stepped foot in Azeroth. Beyond the next hill, deep in the next crypt or cave, something exciting could be hidden. One other thing we love about discoveries is this social and information sharing aspect. For those first few weeks of each phase, we hope to find secret finding communities pop up, both in and out of game, as players scour Azeroth to find all these little hidden things. We can't wait to read general chat as players begin sharing what they found with each other in real time. We think that social and info sharing aspect is super exciting, and we can't wait to see how long it takes for all these little secrets to be found. In order to preserve this sense of discovery, we will not be holding a public beta or PTR for Season of Discovery.
Of course, that makes sense.
Thank you, yeah. We want day one of Season of Discovery to feel as fresh and full of surprises as we can. So we're taking a chance here to keep those first few weeks as exciting as possible.
Nice.
The last thing we'll say about discoveries now is that we wanted to craft them in a way that really felt at home in original WoW. Many times when playtesting amongst ourselves, we'd find a new NPC or an object, and someone would hesitate and say, like, is this from 2004? Is this new? And we're like, yeah, it's new. That's new to the season. And to us, that's a great success. The idea here is that these things feel as like a natural part of Azeroth as it was at this point in WoW's history. Next, let's talk a little bit about level-banded content phases and what that means. In essence, level-banded content phases are how we're going to approach the level-up journey in Season of Discovery. When we initially launch, the level cap in Season of Discovery will be level 25. After a number of weeks, the level cap will increase to a higher level for the next phase. So, why a level cap of 25 to start with? Well, our inspiration for this actually came from the WoW Classic beta in 2019. We saw how much fun the game was when the level was capped at a lower level and how players would find new and exciting talent and item combinations to optimize around. And this is something we've always looked back fondly on, and it's something we've wanted to sort of explore ever since. We also realized how approachable an initial lower level cap could be. We talk a lot internally about approachability on WoW Classic and respecting players' time. There's a major goal of this level-banded approach to really give you a chance to get into it. One of the things we really consistently see on forums or social media too is it too late to start? And oftentimes we'll hear this literally within a day or two of a new release. And obviously, it's never too late to start playing Classic WoW. But as we've all, grown into additional responsibilities and found ourselves spending maybe a little less time playing games than we used to, we can definitely feel that sense of kind of fear of missing out, or FOMO, when we log in after a long week and see our friends 10 or 20 levels ahead of us. And for that, this level-banded approach is perfect. There will be plenty to do in each new leveling journey, from the quests and
I love how they know
battlegrounds we all know and love, to
their
finding all the
players
brand
are
new
literally
things to discover
boomers.
across Azeroth.
So they are
And then
doing
later
it for
on,
them.
leveling new alts to find all of their hidden discoveries as well. There's lots to do, but we're hoping that you won't ever feel that sense of being behind just because you couldn't play on a given day. We also plan to give a very sizable experience boost to the previous level band every time we raise the level cap. This is kind of similar to Joyous Journeys and Wrath Classic, if you're familiar with that. So even if you miss a phase or once a level in alt, you'll be able to catch up to your friends in no time. So the next thing we want to talk about is in-game at level cap. So when we kind of decided on this level-banded content approach, we had to kind of sit down and ask ourselves, what is in-game when the level cap is 25? And first, I think it makes sense to talk a little bit about our inspiration. And this is something we really keep coming back to a lot on Classic. Since this is a version of original WoW, we wanted to start out grounded in familiar locations and put the focus for the new stuff on fresh gameplay and mechanics in those iconic dungeons and locales. To that end, our first raid in Season of Discovery will be the iconic dungeon, Black Fathom Deeps, reimagined as a 10-player raid instance. Thank you. Next, one of our main goals is to ensure that these are fully featured, deep, satisfying raids, and not simply the addition of a few mechanics to existing encounters as they were in 2004. All of these encounters are a full ground-up redesign and should feel like proper raid encounters. And of course, with new raids comes lots of new loot. In addition to raids, we also really want to play up that PvP aspect. And as a result, we're planning to add several outdoor PvP events to the game as the level caps increase. Thank you. Lastly, one of the things we're most excited about is where we go when we start getting to higher levels. We are leaving the door open to the possibility of completely new experiences and the prospects of exploring previously unfinished or unused locales for future raid and dungeon content. We're sorry, clear level 60. I know, I'm excited too. I'm excited too. We think that level 25 is going to be full of great, memorable gameplay that feels right at home in original WoW, but this is just the first step, and we think the best is yet to come. So next, let's kind of change gears and talk about rune engraving a little bit. So this is one of the most exciting new things about Season of Discovery. One of the most consistent pieces of feedback we've gotten from previous iterations of original WoW, such as our Season of Mastery, is that many players would like to try some adjustments to their favorite class or spec. We really wanted to take a chance with Season of Discovery and go kind of wild here, and we did. That's where rune engraving comes in. Rune engraving is a new skill that all Season of Discovery characters know automatically on character creation. Rune engraving allows you to gather, learn, and apply new class abilities directly to your equipment, kind of like enchants. In the initial 1 through 25 experience, you'll be able to discover runes in your chest, legs, and glove slots, and as the level cap increases, additional runes for other item slots will be discoverable over time. Once learned, runes are permanent and can be applied and reapplied to your gear at will, just out of combat. One of the most exciting things about these runes is that they exist completely outside of the talent system, meaning that you could very realistically splash in, damage abilities with a healing talent spec so you could solo a little bit better, or you could swap maybe to tanking ability runes to round out the tank spot in your 5-player group if you're missing one. You may also encounter previously faction-specific paladin and shaman buffs as runes, which helps bring some parity to each faction without those classes losing their unique flavor or the factions losing their unique flavor. In order to also streamline the talent system to go along with runes, we do plan to adjust the respec cost to be much more nominal in Season of Discovery, particularly at low levels.
Nice.
And that's not all. That's not all. Who knows, maybe, just maybe, someday, you won't be constrained to just one talent spec in Season of Discovery. Who knows? So, overall, we've been playing this a ton internally. We've been having so much fun with it. It's everything we love about Classic, plus so much more. At this, I'd like to hand this over to one of our lead software engineers, Nora Valletta, to talk about some specific abilities you may encounter on the different classes, as well as to talk a bit about our PvP plans for Season of Discovery. Take it away, Nora.
Thanks, Josh. Hey, BlizzCon. My name's Nora Valletta, and along with Anna, I'm a lead software engineer on WoW Classic. Thanks. There are over 100 runes in the 1 to 25 leveling bracket across all classes, and we'd love for you guys to go forth and discover them on your own. However, to give you an idea of what to expect, I have a few to share with you today. First things first, I want to share some of the things we had in mind when designing runes in Season of Discovery. One is to shake up the meta. Our seasonal content is a great opportunity to deliver WoW Classic, but with a twist. With our non-seasonal content, we try to deliver a classic experience close to the original, but with seasons, we have the freedom to experiment with what-if scenarios, such as, what if rogues could tank? What if paladins did have a taunt? On that point, we wanted to introduce abilities such that each class has something special, something that other classes can point to and go, dang, that's so cool, I wish I could do that. Many of the runes you find are greatest hits remixes of popular abilities from various WoW expansions, so many of them will be familiar to you. That said, some of these familiar abilities may actually behave a little differently than you remember. Some spells and abilities you'll discover have never been introduced before in any WoW expansion. For these, we were careful to make sure they were an appropriate fit for class fantasy. Most importantly, we want Classic to continue to feel like Classic. Many of the iconic spells and abilities you've seen in various WoW expansions feel fitting for that expansion or fitting for modern WoW, but would feel out of place in Classic, so we tried to avoid introducing anything with a too modern feel and made adjustments wherever it made sense. Anyways, enough of that. Let's take a sneak peek at some of those abilities. Druids.
Oh boy.
In Season of Discovery, you have an interrupt called Skull Bash, which can be used in cat or bear form. Fury of Storm Rage removes the mana cost of Wrath. Dealing damage with Wrath has a chance to make your next healing touch instant. Wild Growth applies a heal over time effect to your target and up to 5 nearby party members. Hello, Hunters. Beast Mastery will increase your pet's damage, health, and focus regen. Growl is now a proper taunt. Explosive Shot is a ranged damage over time ability, and Lone Wolf gives you a damage boost if you have no active pet. Pair this with dual wielding, and you've got yourself a mean melee hunter. Mages. Ice Lance is an instant frost spell that deals triple damage to frozen targets. Living Flame causes flames to erupt and chase a nearby enemy, leaving a burning trail in its wake. And Regeneration is a heal, which marks your target with a temporal beacon. Another rune ability called Rewind Time will heal the damage taken over the previous 5 seconds. You can heal other people with this, by the way, not just yourself, so I hope you've made room on your roster for mage healers. Paladins. In WoW Classic, they don't have a taunt, but here it is in Season of Discovery. Hand of Reckoning is your taunt. Knowing this ability will also increase the threat bonus of Righteous Fury and cause you to gain mana when healed by other players. Crusader Strike is a weapon attack. It's a weapon attack which costs no additional mana and instead regenerates your mana slightly with each hit.
Oh, wow.
And Seal of Martyrdom can be activated to cause melee attacks to strike other nearby targets. You'll lose health when inflicting damage with this. However, nearby party members will gain mana based on the damage you take. Priests. You can channel Penance to heal nearby friendly targets or deal damage to enemy targets. Prayer of Mending heals your target the next time they take damage or receive healing. Afterwards, it'll bounce to another friendly player nearby. Homunculi animates 3 miniature copies of your character, which will attack your target with a mace, a sword, and an axe, reducing their attack speed, attack power, and armor, respectively.
Holy fuck, that's gotta be broken.
Rogues. From Stealth, Shadow Strike allows you to teleport behind your target and strike for a nice big chunk of damage. Envenom is a finishing move. It deals poison damage based on your deadly poison doses on the target, and also increases the frequency of applying instant poison for some time afterwards. Just a Flesh Wound is our rogue tank ability. You generate way more threat, you take reduced physical damage while Blade Dance is active, you're less likely to be critically hit by melee attacks, and your Feint ability turns into a taunt called Tease. Shamans. Lava Lash deals offhand weapon damage. Offhand. In Season of Discovery, Enhancement Shamans can dual wield with the help of another rune not pictured here. Happy hunting. Healing Rain is a gradual AoE heal which can be placed on the ground, or on a lamppost, or on the ceiling. Way of Earth allows you to perform the coveted role of Shaman Tank.
Holy shit, everything can tank now.
With this, you'll deal increased threat, you'll take less damage, and Earth Shock becomes your taunt. Warlocks. Haunt deals damage, increases all shadow damage you deal to the target, and heals you for the damage it dealt once it's dispelled or expires. Chaos Bolt sends a big beefy bolt of fire at the enemy. It always hits, it can't be resisted, and it causes all of your fire spells to pierce through absorption effects. And Metamorphosis. This is your shapeshift, allowing you to transform into a demon, similar to a druid's bear form, increasing your armor and reducing your chance to be critically hit. Searing Pain becomes instant, Shadow Bolt becomes a melee cleave, and Curse of Recklessness is your taunt. Warriors. Victory Rush is a weapon attack that can be used after killing an enemy. It will heal you for a certain percentage of your health.
Oh shit, they broke back.
Devastate will cause your Sunder armor to deal main hand weapon damage, increased for each stack of Sunder armor already on the target. And Raging Blow is a vicious strike that deals heavy damage, but can only be used while enraged. Now this is just a taste of all the abilities coming to classes in Season of Discovery. And really, bottom line, we want everyone to feel OP. Anyways, enough about runes. Let's instead turn our attention to the ancient forest of Ashenvale in northern Kalimdor. Ashenvale is known for its beauty, its rich natural resources, and its role as a hotly contested territory between the Horde and the Alliance. In Season of Discovery, earning kills while in Ashenvale will trigger a zone-wide PvP event.
Oh, wow.
During this event, a leader will appear in the zone for each faction, a Farseer for the Horde, and a Priestess of the Moon for the Alliance. Your objective is simple. It's to defeat the enemy leader. Now this is easier said than done. These leaders are tough, so you'll have to work together to take them out. In addition to the main camps where those faction leaders reside, various other camps will spawn across the zone for each faction. The Priestess of the Moon and the Farseer are each buffed by respective leaders in those smaller camps. The more of those small camps you can take out, the weaker your enemy's faction leader will become. Sounds familiar. It's much like Alterac Valley. This event is an awesome way to earn honor, as well as reputation with Warsong Gulch factions, which allows you to unlock some of the best level 25 gear in the game. You'll also be able to earn a mount, which you can actually use at level 25, but only in Ashenvale. It will increase your speed by 50%, giving you the extra boost you need to seek and destroy the enemy. So, come kick some ash in Ashenvale. I'll see you there. Anyways, I've done enough talking. It's time for me to pass things off to Tim, who's going to talk to you about raids and the PvE endgame. Take it away, Tim.
Okay.
Thank you, Nora. Hey, Blizzcon! My name is Tim Jones, and I'm the assistant lead designer on World of Warcraft Classic. Woo! Multiplayer content is the heart of World of Warcraft. Whether we're questing together, running a dungeon, crafting an item for a friend, or chatting in guild about where to find that new metamorphosis rune for Warlock, WoW offers one of the richest multiplayer experiences across all of gaming. And Season of Discovery aims to deliver on providing new group content that's both challenging and rewarding. Now first, I want everyone to take a moment with me and imagine, alongside the Zorm Strand on Ashenvale's north coast lies the ruins of an ancient elven temple to the goddess Elune. Evil stirs within, drawing the likes of the Naga and the Twilight's Hammer in search of power and anything that could hasten the coming of the old gods. Maybe you've been here before, maybe not. No matter your familiarity with this place, it's hard not to be drawn in by the mystique, the rich art, the level design, as well as the robust creature and spell ecology of Blackfathom Deeps. On the Classic team, we couldn't help but ask ourselves, could this amazing location be more than just a 5-player dungeon? So we're excited. Get your level 25 Prebis, equip your runes, find 9 of your best friends, and get ready. The Classic team is proud to announce Level Up Raids. New instance challenges for raid groups to experience the max level for each of Season of Discovery's content bands. Woo! At level 25, Blackfathom Deeps is the first level up raid that you'll experience in Season of Discovery. Groups should be easy to form. Grab a couple tanks and healers, make a party of 10, you're good to go. God knows, everyone and their mom can tank and heal in Season of Discovery now, so that shouldn't be a problem.
That's true.
And content phases in Season of Discovery won't be as long as traditional Classic expansion patches either. And we want you to have as many opportunities to explore and plunder the riches within. And as such, Blackfathom will offer a 3-day lockout, much like the raid Zul'Gurub. The story's the same, the location and creatures may be familiar to some, but the challenges and rewards are brand new. 7 new bosses are here to both entertain and test your skills. And how could we not make raid content without new loot? Existing quests and rewards have also been updated for the raid as well.
Cool.
And you'll even be able to find secrets within the raid. Can you solve the mystery of the Twilight Artisan? Can you find the recipes for Blackfathom sharpening stones and wizard oil? And will you be the first group to access the new world buff, Boon of Blackfathom? Ooh. Okay. I love your guys' enthusiasm. This is amazing. Let's peek behind the curtain at what challenges await players in Blackfathom, or as we affectionately call it, BFD, not to be confused with BRD or BFA or BWL or BWD. You guys get the idea. Baron Aquanus, he guards the entrance. No longer a simple quest NPC. You must challenge his elemental lieutenants that inhabit the Fathom Stones and defeat him. And in doing so, you may face off against Aquinas himself atop the infamous jumping puzzle. And jump you must to get in range of the Baron, but beware both the boss and your teammates, because there are many a peril that may knock you off. In all honesty, this boss is lightly tuned, and there are some hidden power-ups below the water to help you return to the platform. Next off, you must face against Gamura, the fearsome turtle that's been swimming in the enchanted waters of the deeps for a long, long time. Exposure to these energies has granted her both power and size, but most importantly, she's now protected by a magical barrier that protects her against almost any attack. Break through this barrier and start blasting for massive damage. Get your orange parse. All this commotion will bring you to the attention of Lady Saraves, a powerful and reckless Naga sea witch who commands a legion of Black Fathom elite in Myrmidons. She is a formidable foe that will overwhelm you unless you find a way to turn her own spells against her and her minions.
Huh.
These 3 bosses round out the prologue of Black Fathom Deeps, and all 3 are available to fight in our demo in Hall D. Check it out.
Oh, they are saving the last 4 bosses?
And that's not it. Witness the corruption of Gelihast and take on the march of the Void Murlocs. Break past Lorgus Jet's magical barriers and corrupted totems. Conquer your dreams as you challenge Twilight Lord Kelris. And good luck against the giant Void Hydra. Seriously, you're going to need it. And not to forget, there will be glittering prizes awaiting you, including some of these fancy items. Now, telling you all this is great, but I think we'd rather just show you. So it is my pleasure to provide a quick sneak peek video of the raid, edited by the team itself, as though it was pulled straight from a community website in 2005. Please take a look.
I might play this. Oh, this is the boss Esfand was doing.
Well, that's it for today, guys. We're looking forward to. Oh, okay. That shouldn't be here. Okay. That should definitely. Okay. Sorry. We should have. Okay. Oops.
Are those the sneak peeks?
On behalf of the Classic team, and as Anna mentioned at the top, nothing that we do in WoW Classic would be possible without all of your support and your voice. Thank you so much for making the dream of WoW Classic and all the experiences we're working on a reality. We can't wait to see what else we have in store for the future. We can't wait for you to see. So please stay tuned for Hearthstone, What's Next, coming up right after this. And we hope you have enjoyed this look ahead at what's next for WoW Classic. I want to reiterate, this is just a taste of all that you're going to uncover in Season of Discovery. And for those of you here at Blizzcon, we hope you get to take on the first 3 bosses of our Black Fathom Deeps raid on the show floor. And for everyone else, we're so excited for you to experience it when Season of Discovery launches worldwide in just a few short weeks on November 30th. Thank you, everyone.
I'm playing this. Ugh. Okay, the next panel is